That is a remarkable finish.
Burke goes for the corner and Leah Burke's in. And it's Tamsin Renew. The pass from Holly Dodd.
And this could be the first score of the game because London are going to get there and touch down. He's gone for the same ball and it's going to work.
Beautiful.
They might score the winner. And North Wales have another.
Brings it up to the line, drops it off to Hazard, who reaches through. Good evening and welcome to Game Day Live here on the Sportsman. We are rounding off an incredible weekend of rugby league with flood-lit action here at Heywood Road, and there is so much on the line. A place in the Betfred Championship in 2025 at stake as Swinton Lions, currently in the Championship of course, take on a Hunslet side looking for promotion. Whoever wins this game will be in next season's Betfred Championship. All to play for, all on the line. Let's hear from the two men looking to guide their teams through it, the two head coaches. Alan, it's that extra game, the all-important game really in terms of maintaining your Betfred Championship status for next season. I guess all the focus this week has just been on getting the job done across 80 minutes tonight.
Yeah, staying as professional as we can, really focusing on the non-talent areas, just the 1% things, all those things, because we feel that, you know, as a squad across the board, we're in, you know, better competition and better players, but it'll come down to that. And Hunslet are a very resilient team, very perseverant team, so we know the threat that's going to come from them. So yeah, focus on us, professionalism and just that effort stuff, and we get that right, the fancy stuff and the plays that'll come on the back of that.
Obviously you've had a little bit of a break from the end of the regular season. Has that helped you kind of refresh the players a bit and get themselves up for this? 100%.
I think we did 16 rounds in a row, which involved Wakefield and Toulouse and some big hitters as well. And at semi-professional level, that's a real ask on the players. So the week off was good. We only came in once that week, back end of the week, and the lads had a bit of a soast on the weekend as well. And they came back in last week or this week, ready to rip in and really fresh. So yeah, it's been really helpful that.
Given the magnitude of what is at stake tonight, how big for you is it that you've got them down at this place?
Yeah, I mean, anywhere, any place really. It's just important that we can give our home support something to shout for. Our last game at Bradford, we were way off, and we got a bit of a hide in there, and it was disappointing. So to come back here in front of our own support today and hopefully put a performance in, that's the main thing for me.
The real telling factor for Hunslet in their win against Keighley last week was how well they defended, especially on their own goal line. If you've kind of taken that on board, is there an element of you're just going to have to stay patient at times tonight?
Yeah, that's it. The attitude we need to be is our defence and where we're finishing our sets, and putting them in that deep end and keep coming off their own line. Felt a little bit last week that they got some let-offs, some last play penalties. We've got to be aware of that with Matty's kicking and not hitting him late. So we've got to make sure we're finishing up there and trapping them in the 40 and just having that patience and that ruthless streak and that willing to get into a grind. And if we do that, I think we'll have a lot of success back end of the game.
I guess it's a bit of a strange one for yourselves. It's a big night. There's a kind of a finals feel to it, but obviously it's laced with jeopardy for you guys. What's the mood been like in the week?
They've been good. They've been there's an air of confidence about them, but not arrogance. I felt the vibe's been really good this week off the players. There's a number of players moving on, which happens at any time in the season, and sort of that last dance and having that last connection with each other. So there's been a real optimism around the group. They've trained well, but we've got to convert it now and make sure we maintain our championship status. I think we've done well this year in the championship. The bottom of the championship was really competitive. We lost 3 or 4 games by 2 points, and we could have been up to 9th or 8th, but we're not. We're here, and we've got a job to do.
Well, best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Dean, thank you for joining us. It's a big night. There's loads at stake. You've given yourselves a shot at promotion tonight with that win last week. What's the preparation been like?
Preparation's been really good. Nobody expected us to get here apart from ourselves. We've gone about the job the same way as we have done for the past 2 weeks. We played Rochdale, played really well, and then last week against Keighley, probably our best performance. Gives us lots of confidence going into tonight. So we just made sure we got round each other. We made sure we got loads of recovery in, and then we did a lot of video on Swinton and prepped properly for tonight to give us the best chance.
That win last week was built very heavily on defence. It's going to be key again tonight against this opposition. How much have you tried to drill that home this week?
We've been quite relaxed about that, to be honest. We know we've set ourselves at a high standard now defensively, and them as leaders within the group have all said that's the benchmark that we have to get to. So if we get somewhere near that and then we perform with the ball on the back of it, and we'll always test them, I think we'll give ourselves a good shot.
It's obviously a long season, it's a long playoff run coming into this game as well, but that must really put some wind in your sails with the results and the performances you've had to get yourself into this position.
Yeah, we're really confident coming in. We've got good skill, we've got some good individuals, but I think the way we work for each other as a team, and we always make sure we get plenty of green shirts in the shop to nullify any attack. So if we do that again tonight, I know we've got a good travelling army coming across, so they'll be nice and loud, and hopefully we'll give them a performance that they can be proud of.
What would it mean if you could get the win tonight and book your place in the Betfred Championship next season?
It's amazing for the club, but it's more importantly, it's amazing for the players. They've sacrificed a lot to be here, and we had their family down and kids today to present their match day shirts, and they've allowed them to go on this journey. So hopefully we can pay them a little bit back, and the boys can go challenge themselves against some tough championship opposition.
Just lastly, have you resisted the temptation to put Matty Fletcher in the halves after that pass last week?
He's got good skills as Matty. He can play anywhere. He'll be back at home in the middle, but if we need him, he'll put his hands up and he'll play at half if we need to.
Best of luck tonight. So Alan Kilshaw and Dean Muir, they're both in pretty relaxed moods ahead of this one. Let's take a look at how they set their teams up this evening, starting off with the home side. Swinton Lions, who start off with Dan Abraham at full-back, Joe Purcell and Rhys Williams. All that Super League experience, of course, on the wings, and Johnny Vaughan and Jaden Hatton inside them at centre. It's a half-back pairing of Jack Stevens and Jordan Gibson, and they play behind a pack fronted up by Gavin Benyon, Josh Eves and Jack Houghton. A second row of Liam Cooper, Mitch Cox and Mikey Wood. And coming off the bench for the Lions this evening, George Roby, Leon Cohen, Anthony Walker and Jordan Case. And they will come up against the Hunslet side, flying, of course, after that win against Keighley in the playoff final last week. They line up as follows. George Flanagan Jr. is the fullback. Jack Render, who scored that unbelievable try last weekend, is joined by Mackenzie Turner on the wings, with Alfie Goddard and Jude Ferreira in the centres. It's a half-back pairing of Michael Knowles and Matty Beherrell, with Liam Carr, Ross Whitmore and Matty Fletcher starting in the front row. Josh Jordan Roberts and Ethan Wood are the second row for Hunslet, with Jordan Syme locking in the pack. And on the interchange bench for the visitors, Cam Berry, Harvey Hallis, Lewis Ray and Ethan O'Hanlon will provide the reinforcements throughout the evening. Alongside me, man has had his feet up for the last couple of weeks, enjoying all the action. Paul Rowley rolls, loads at stake tonight. Two teams coming into this in opposite trajectories almost, but you can feel what this means already.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the jeopardy for Swinton, they've been playing on a cliff edge now for so long, and obviously Hunslet as well, who's been they've been the underdogs, haven't they, in their little journey, and obviously coming up with a tremendous win last week against Keighley. But just watched them walk out for the warm-up, and there's a definite air of confidence about Hunslet. You know, it's a free hit for them. That's been the narrative that they'll be saying all week, and so they'll come here fearless and with nothing to lose. But Swinton have got a lot of experience in their side. They've been here before. They've been a club that's been up and down the divisions, so they're very accustomed to this situation that they find themselves in, and obviously being at home is a huge advantage for them.
Well, Hunslet come into this game well backed as well. A huge travelling support has made the journey. We're in our little cordoned off commentary area here on the standing terrace. We've got the Hunslet fans to our right, the Swinton fans to the left, already in the mood, right in the thick of it. Atmosphere building up around us as the teams head back into the sheds after their warm-up. Hunslet come into this underdogs, but pressure off.
Absolutely.
An opportunity to do something remarkable.
Absolutely, and it's a little bit like that. Swinton have had a week off, haven't they? They've had a week's rest. Hunslet have been, they've been doing it tough in the game against Keighley. So the old question, isn't it? Which one's going to be the better for it? Is it the battle-hardened Hunslet or the well-rested Swinton? But both lineups are strong. I don't think anyone can have any complaints in that respect. And both showcasing strong spines as well. So I do think, like most finals, if that's what you want to call it, or big games, I think the kicking game is going to have a massive impact. The field is big, it's sticky, and I think territory, if Hunslet want to give Swinton territory, a lot like Keighley had last week, they'll do very, very well to repel this Swinton side. But likewise, as you can hear, the Hunslet fans, they're very confident, and we are in no man's land separating the two, so it's going to be noisy for us, no doubt.
Yeah, I hope we don't have to step in at any point here, Rolls. I don't fancy being the man in the middle if this game gets tense, but what a prospect we've got. It is a perfect evening. It's not the warmest, but conditions fantastic for rugby league. As you've mentioned, big wide pitch. Could see some expansion, but I think maybe the interesting thing, certainly in the first 10-20 minutes, is just seeing how these two forward packs get into each other.
Yeah, definitely, and I think they'll both start the game with really simple plans. Like I said before, they'll just get through the sets, completion will be high, so both boards in their dressing rooms will be talking about completion and territory, kicking game, and then first 3 defensive tackles, making sure they're controlling the speed of the ruck and restricting territory, because as we pointed out, it's a huge pitch, and just walking across the pitch early, it's sticky, so it's going to be they're going to get really leg heavy in that middle of the pitch. And like I say, if you do get cornered on your try line or defending, finding yourself coming out of that deep end, as Alan Kilshaw alluded to in particular, then it's going to be tough going. So Matty Bahel for Hunslet's going to have a huge say in his kicking game, and on the opposite side there, it's going to be down to Jack Stevens, Jordan Gibson to come up with their kicking game, and I know Jack Stevens in particular has got a big boot on him, so it's going to be a big factor in the game.
Just going to pick a couple of names off the team sheets that could play a real impact in this, and experience is what jumps out from a Swinton perspective. Rhys Williams, of course, plenty of it. Gavin Benyon's played loads of rugby league at this level. Anthony Walker coming off the bench. In this kind of tense environment, when there's going to be a few nerves jangling around, they're the kind of players that you'll be looking to just settle in and get you through your sets.
Yeah, absolutely, and on both sides, like you said, I mean, you mentioned Rhys Williams there. He's done most of his time, his trade in Super League, and but again, I think it's really important that Hunslet, you can't write them off, because people like Knowles and Bahel, they're at halfback. Well, they've navigated League One and Championship for a decade, them two boys, and Knowles in particular. So, and then you throw into the mix George Flanagan, who's on loan from Huddersfield, but he's a fantastic player, a real live wire, a real X factor. That if this game is tight, a little bit like we saw in the Super League last night with Bevan French, he's the sort of player that can open it up. Opposite him, his last time we narrated a final here was against Doncaster, Swinton v Doncaster, and the man of the match that day was the opposite in Dan Abram. So I think for me, if you're going to pick two players out, then I'm going right at the fullbacks. I'm going Flanagan and Abram are going to have a huge influence on this game in terms of breaking open the game, scoring points, and like I said before, really being the difference between the two sides.
Yeah, George Flanagan Jr. absolutely lit that game up last week. If you tuned in on the Sportsman, you see the outstanding performance, a belting try as well to take his team to victory. So definitely one to watch for the visitors. I'm going to probably keep coming back to this, but there's a really interesting dynamic of the mentality of the two teams here, aren't there? Hunslet are chasing promotion, they're flying, they've got all the momentum behind them. Swinton are coming into this as the team in the higher division, on paper the higher quality team, but there'll be a nervousness because for them there's jeopardy.
There will, and you've got to throw in some other contributing factors, that some of these Swinton players will be leaving for pastures new next year. So you've got it's a test of character for them and their motivation and what they're about. But I think Swinton have prided themselves on being a really tight-knit unit over the year. They've battled. They've come up with some fantastic wins during the Championship. So. Let's not make no mistake about it. They're the firm favourites in this game. They should win this game. And, I think the players, like you touched on there, they've got a lot of experience. I don't think there'll be too many nerves, to be honest. I think they'll approach this game calm, controlled, because they've done it time and time again. So you always look back on previous experiences. And this team's experienced some good wins and some good consistency throughout the year. It's been a tough Championship they took part in. So they're firm favourites for me.
Wonderful atmosphere building up around us. Two famous old clubs, of course. Loads of talk in the last 24 hours about Wigan winning all 4 trophies available. Well, Hunslet have done that too in their proud history. Let's not forget that. They could write another chapter in that history tonight. They were absolutely fantastic in that playoff final against Keighley last week. Defensively, barely put a foot wrong. That's going to be the key factor for them, isn't it, tonight? Defensively, they're going to have to be even better again. Here come the two sides. Maddie Maherrell and Rhys Williams lead out Hunslet and the Swinton Lions to a cacophony of noise here at Heywood Road. It's not a final, but it feels like one. It's a massive opportunity for Hunslet. It's one last chance for Swinton to retain their place in the Betfred Championship. You can feel the excitement building up around us. A great attendance here already at Heywood Road. There's still people coming through the turnstiles over on that far side. But before battle commences, we are going to take a moment, a minute's silence in memory of Swinton fan and former board member John Boardman, who sadly passed away this week after years of support and service to this club. So the two teams line up on the field, side by side, match officials in the middle, as we take a moment to remember the late John Boardman. Immaculate minute silence here at Heywood Road in memory of John Boardman, and now attention's turned to the small matter of deciding our final team in the 2025 Betfred Championship. Swinton in their traditional dark blue, white chevron, blue socks. They'll kick us off from left to right on your screen, kicking to Hunslet in their traditional green with the yellow hoop. So here we go, 80 minutes. A place in the Betfred Championship on the line. Live and exclusive here on the Sportsman. We are underway. And Hunslet will get first taste of the football. It's a short kick and it's gone to ground. It's gone backwards though. So Hunslet will recover. The first job of getting themselves out of their own yardage. So what can they throw at? Swinton's line speed is good, forcing them back. Already negative equity of the metres in this set, Hunslet, but they'll just look to get through these early stages, error-free, get that completion rate high, work themselves through this game. Swinton already going ball hunting, looking to try and force Hunslet out of their comfort zone early on in this game. Now they bring us out to the right-hand side for the first time, where there is a little bit of space, but Swinton's defence shuffles across well, so this is the last, and Hunslet will be kicking from deep inside their own half. It's Knowles who puts the ball high up into the air, and it's still gone backwards though, says the referee. Purcell, who got himself underneath it but couldn't bring that ball in, and already we've seen both fullbacks, well, both sides just struggling to deal with that high ball in the floodlights.
Absolutely, yeah, on for the kick-off, and then I thought that was a knock-on personally. I thought it was a tough call for Hunslet. It was a tough set coming out. I thought it was really strong defence from Swinton, but they got a kick away from Knowles, and like I said before, I thought they've got lucky there, Swinton, and it's a chance for Hunslet now to take out some of that enthusiasm on Swinton, but early territory for Swinton, and it's a good start for them.
Yeah, early carries in this set, yielding some good field position for the home side, so this is the last tackle. I expect this one to go high and try and get some bodies underneath it. It is a high one. It's a testing one for George Flanagan Jr. He's met well, but he takes it really, really well, the young fullback, and gets himself back up to his feet, trying to just get away from a few defenders. But again, Hunslet start this set deep inside their own half, The offload is away. Now they'll look to try and stretch it. Here's Beharrell and brings us out to the right-hand side where Mackenzie Turner will have to do the job of mopping things up. Just perhaps a bit of overplaying on their own 10-metre line there, and still with plenty of field in front of them as they try to make territory. And you just suggest, we're only 2 minutes in, Paul, but based on the first set each team have had, Swinton have probably started the brighter.
Yeah, I think Hunslet have tried something a little bit different, haven't they? They've tried to take Swinton by surprise, but they've not been caught. They've had great line speed. They've not been caught out at all. And I think Hunslet really could do with just changing and getting straight and trying to claim some more hard-earned metres because they're kicking out of poor position. And like I said, early field position is to Swinton, and Hunslet won't withstand this for long periods of time like they did last week against Keighley.
So Williams plays the ball, and Swinton already up to the halfway line, so on top in the early stages in terms of the arm wrestle. Hunslet, of course, probably won't be too bothered about not having too much territorial possession. Anyone who tuned into that game of the Sportsman last week against Keighley, they did a lot of defending and then took the chances when they were presented with them. We feel that maybe if they are going to win this game, it will be in similar smash and grab circumstances. Swinton already up towards the 10-metre line. Jack Houghton carries up. He'll settle it dead centre. This is the last, so they'll come out to the left-hand side. The kick is stabbed through. It's a bit of a messy one. The ball's bobbling around all over the place. Hunslet have got themselves back on the ball. And again, coming off their own try line. So Swinton have them where they want them for the time being.
It's a great start from Swinton. They've not put a pass together. It's all been tough carries, and it's been enough. That's the completing. Like I said before, on that changing room wall, it'll be about completion and territory.
So here's that kick again. It's a bit of a messy one, bobbling through. In the end, it just drops.
Well, it's nervous times for Hunslet. It's created some uncertainty. It's a kick in the right field position.
Oh, there's an error.
There's the error.
First one of the game, so Swinton rewarded for that early pressure, for that early field position.
Well, defence wins big games, doesn't it? We've seen that time and time again, and defensively Swinton have started fantastic. The game plan's been much more simple, and they've played a lot more direct, and that is the blueprint in this game. You see the Hunslet trying to get the offload away. It's never on, and the contact from Swinton, well, it's dual contact, two defenders in, really strong, and a forced error, so Swinton again started really brightly. 5 minutes of dominance from them.
So Swinton bring it out to the left-hand side, still playing, the ball's gone to ground, and it's been jumped on by the Hunslet player. We're going to come back, I think, for Swinton ball. I think it's Turner who's maybe just dropped that ball down. Mackenzie Turner on that far side. See it again.
It's Jack Stevens, isn't it?
Spread play.
Yeah, they've come up with a scrum play, haven't they? They've tried to be a little bit more inventive there, but Hunslet, it's a great read from Hunslet. It wasn't an overcomplicated scrum play, just trying to create the overlap on that left edge there, and Jack Stevens probably just should have took the tackle, but again, forced error from Hunslet, so another chance for them. Oh, he's given the knock on from Hunslet. I do apologise. He's got his hand to
bring us out to the right hand side. Gibson will play the ball 15 metres out as Benyon breaks through a couple of tackles, looking for that quick play the ball, which he gets. So now Swinton come out to that left-hand side again. Michael Wood brings him up 2-3 metres away. So this is the first real attacking opportunity for either side. Gibson again, nowhere to go. Hunslet's defence is off, and it's good again. Forces him back towards the 10-metre line. Still tackles in hand for Swinton. They come out to the right-hand side. It's a looping ball, and now they'll look to apply some width. And Jude Ferreira flying out the line just about does enough to shut that down. So this is the last opportunity for Swinton to put an attacking kick in. They come to the short side. The kick stabbed through. It's Beharrell, I think, who's there to mop that up. So Hunslet survive a full set on their line.
We said before the game, Hunslet have got a lot of resilience, haven't they? I just think with Benyon and people like that for Swinton, they can't stay down here for much longer. They're just so big and strong, Swinton, direct. Just need to tidy up the kicking game, the last plays, and you'll see some points. But again, Hunslet just trying to work their way out now.
So Whitmore just keeping the ball in hand from the ruck and making 10 metres for his troubles. George Flanagan will go in. This is the last, so Knowles is the kicking option. He'll look to try and turn the back three around, but Rhys Williams brings it in cleanly, and he'll look to return the ball with interest. Just gets away from a couple of tackles before eventually being brought down. Already feels like there's a real kind of pace to this game, a real cut and thrust as both teams settle into their work.
Yeah, as you look, it's just Dan Abram just getting his nose through on this one here. Just again, Swinton, Hunslet, sorry, have never been in Swinton's 40 yet, so there's a chance here now as they get to third play just to restrict the metres, get some better field position. But as you say, it's 8 minutes now, set for set. Hunslet and Swinton both bending the back in defence, and it's just settling in now to that grind and that arm wrestle.
So Benyon plays the ball, and it's just a little flick back on the inside. Hunslet's defence read it well. It was Jack Houghton for Swinton who was running that inside line. The kick goes up high again. Render and Mackenzie Turner, apologies, underneath it. But again, as we've seen, Swinton just pinning Hunslet into that far corner.
Well, they're working over the ruck, aren't they? They're just taking real strong carries through both the props. Gavin Benyon there and Jack Houghton in particular, real strong carries just in and around Hunslet ruck. They understood they had a tough game last week, and like I said before,
here goes Flanagan Jr. just jumping out from the ruck, looking to catch Swinton unawares. Get some decent metres for it. Matty Fletcher straight up the middle. Had a huge impact on that game last week in both attack and defence, and this is the last of Herald. Just carries it for a little bit before putting boot to ball, and that is the first kick of the arm wrestle that he's been able to put in that's turned Swinton around. So an opportunity here for Keighley to try and pin the Lions in their own territory for the first time this afternoon. Left fans to our right hand side respond. Swinton already making some decent carries. It does help, doesn't it, when you've got players like Rhys Williams who can come off his wing in yardage and do some of the hard work alongside the forwards, as Joe Purcell now.
That's 3 strong carries, 10-metre carries, like you say, from Purcell, from Williams, from Abram in the first instance, and then again here, that's 45 metres in 4 carries. It's a great set from Swinton after what was a good kick chase from Hunslet.
So here's Benyon, just getting through as he tries to just turn out of that tackle. He's eventually brought down. This is the last, so Swinton kicking inside Hunslet territory again. Ball goes up high for Mackenzie Turner to get underneath, and he does really well. Gets a few extra metres off the back of it as well. Hunslet again playing out of that right side corner. Goddard with the carry. It's 3 Swinton defenders. 10 minutes played. Not a huge amount in terms of signs that either side are going to crack here. Hunslet doing their work in defence well as Flanagan again darts out from dummy half. He's had a little bit of joy doing that already in the first 10 minutes. One of the players that we picked out, and now Knowles brings him out to the right side. A huge shot goes in, and too big, says the referee, and he's all on here. They don't like this. 10 minutes in, and we've already got some disagreements on that far side. A bit of work for the referees to do here. It's going to be a Hunslet penalty, unless, of course, James Vella, our referee, has seen something that's going to overturn that. But just the first signs of what's at stake, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge penalty, that, for Hunslet, just at the back end of the set there. Poor from Swinton, but I think he's just hit him high with the shoulder there. But and then everybody's ran in, obviously, to make sure
contact. It's
they
a
get
big
the
shot.
penalty. Let's see that again.
Jaden Hatton, who comes in and just rides the shot a bit too high, and then everybody comes flying in. There's the incident that gives the penalty. And then it's Whitmore and Hatton who come together.
I think they're just letting out the frustrations, aren't they? They're both sides clearly pumped up for this game, but I don't think there's anything actually untoward in the end of that.
Players, we're going to stick with the penalty for 10 metres. Anything else to add? No, agreed. Okay, thank you. Cheers. Michael and Ross over here, please. I'll talk to you in a second. Michael and Ross. Captain, please, mate. Okay, we just listen. We've got the penalty for the 10 metres, and then you come running and getting involved. Mate, do that again, and you're risking down for 10 metres. We certainly don't need that today. We're going to have a word with them. That doesn't happen again. Matty, have a word. Reece and Jaden Hutton, please. Okay, the penalty is for 10 metres. I've had a word with him pushing out. There's no need for your reaction as well. Let's just be aware, it's the same message for both teams. If we have something like that again, I will not be afraid to sit players down. It'll be a penalty for 10 metres. Have a word, no more running in today. I've had a word. Thanks, boys.
So the referee is just talking to both captains, just calming the players down. We will stay 13 aside. We'll come back for the original penalty. We'll see who responds better after that flare-up in this game. As you say, a really useful penalty for Hunslet to win. Deep in the set as well now. Knowles brings it out to the left-hand side. Is Beharrell up to the line. Flanagan drags him to the line and now gives it out to Render, who just checks back on the inside. Pulled down by Purcell. Ferreira at acting half brings it out to Beharrell. Now Fletcher will just fire a carry into that Swinton defensive line. Dead centre, about 13 metres out. Options on both sides of the ruck. They'll come out to the right-hand side. Here's Knowles. Flanagan again, just delaying the pass. Swinton's defence gets across, but Hunslet still with tackles in hand here. So now they'll look to come back out to the left-hand side, but Flanagan will just check back in. All the shape stacked out to this far edge, and that is now where they come with Knowles, who fires the ball out wide. Here's Beharrell, who thinks about the kick and then goes for it, and it could be right on the money for Render, who I think has just been forced into touch. He has. Just for a second, it looked like that kick was on a 5-foot for Jack Render, but Swinton survived the first dangerous set that we've seen.
Yeah, it was fantastic vision, wasn't it, from Matty Beharrell and his kick as well, but just unfortunate there, the Swinton winger, Purcell just rescued that situation, but it was a great attacking set from Hunslet. They really challenged Swinton. And we got a glimpse of what Hunslet are capable of. The first attacking set down here. It's unfortunate that they obviously got a 22-metre start, but it was a good set from Hunslet.
So Swinton back with ball in hand, looking to carry up towards the halfway line. Well, Keelshaw will be happy with the way that his side responded to being put under pressure for the first time in this game. Eves at dummy half brings us out to the right-hand side. And lovely little reverse play as Purcell now makes some progress on the right-hand side. Really nice hands there. Set move from Swinton. Got a couple of weeks to get out on the training ground and work a few things out and throw a few trick plays at Hunslet. Now they've changed it all the way out to the other edge. I think we could have our first score of the afternoon. Rhys Williams races away on the left-hand side and scores for Swinton. And after surviving that period of Hunslet pressure, the Lions are on the board.
Yeah, it was a lovely little trick play, wasn't it? I've got to say, all throughout the game, though, Swinton have made too many metres out of yardage. And again, it was no different. 22-metre restart. They made easy metres, got into the Hunslet's half too easily before they put a trick play down his right edge, made them more metres. And then the width of the pass there from Jack Stevens was fantastic there to Jordan Gibson, who, again, his pass and accuracy just ended up in the hands of Rhys Williams, who's done this for a living for a long time, and you ain't stopping Rhys Williams from that sort of position.
You can see the tactic, can't you? Play out to one edge, stack to the left-hand side, those long balls across, and as you say, Rhys Williams in any kind of space, he's not going to need asking twice.
Yeah, well, they're just not dealing with the Swinton ruck, are they, Hunslet? And it's getting too quick for them. And again, we spoke about what the effects would be from last week's mammoth effort against Keighley. Well, you can see quite early, Swinton have been direct. They've really challenged the ruck, and therefore they're getting poor space in Hunslet, and the width of the pass is putting 2, 3, 4 defenders out, and it's just preserving too much space on edges that Hunslet can't recover. So the plan's been simple: up the guts, create a bit of chaos, and then get them on the edges, and they've played that one to a T. I think the start for Swinton's been fantastic. It's Dan Abram, isn't it, going for goal, and he's an accomplished kicker. He's won a lot of games for Swinton, and
Well, it's a decent looking kick. It's definitely got the distance, doesn't quite have the radar to the left-hand side of the post, so it remains 4-0 to Swinton. And on the balance of play, you'd say that it's a deserved lead. 15 minutes in, we have been looking to our right-hand side for most of this game so far. But just as Hunslet was starting to enjoy a little bit of possession, Swinton hit them with a sucker punch.
Yeah, it's a simple formula, isn't it? Like I said before, completion, territory, and strong carries winning the ruck. So they've defended tough on the back of that. But there's too much field position that eventually this Hunslet line would crack. They're too big and too good, Swinton. This is a step up from last week.
It's a really deep kick-off, and it's Benyon who comes flying into that Hunslet line. Maybe now that try will just settle a few nerves from a Swinton perspective. So they look to get into the ascendancy here with Jack Houghton, and again, good meters being made early on in his set in yardage. Swinton now come out to the right-hand side, bring the ball up to the line, and it's Abram who comes into the line, and he's found space, and he's away. He's got players to his left and right, looks for draw, Flanagan in, stays himself, still going Abram, and in the end, George Flanagan Jr. gets across, but Swinton banging on the door again, looking to go back-to-back. They start on the right edge again, another long ball over the top to Eves. Williams hugging that touchline again, but they look to bring it back on the inside. Eves keeps it in hand on this occasion. Still tackles available for Swinton. Now they come out to the right, just a short crash ball. But we're going to come back, I think. Referee's seen something.
He's not played the ball correctly, so it's
incorrect play the ball. Right, you are, Rolls. So Hunslet survive. Let's just have a look at that line break again. It's Abram. You mentioned how influential he was a couple of years ago in that final. He's up for the big game again, straight through the line past Drew Ferreira. Just maybe caught in two minds about what to do with it. Gets a second attempt.
Yeah, it's just a misread, isn't it, from Ferreira there? But again, it's simple. The first two players for Swinton, they left him stood up, made 20 metres, never put him to ground. They need to commit more numbers and control the ruck, otherwise they're going to have a long night, Hunslet. But I said before, Abram will have a big say in what happens in this game.
So Hunslet on the ropes here after conceding, nearly conceding again, but ball in hand now, so looking to dig themselves out of a little bit of a hole. Berry onto the field.
Mikey, move! Line! Hold!
Harvey Hallis, apologies, has come on for Hunslet. So that kick goes into that far side where Abram picks up and again races past a couple of defenders. This time they are able to stop him from getting out into broken play. But Swinton just starting to find a few cracks in this Hunslet defence. Rhys Williams with the next carry. Still going Williams as well. In the end, eventually he is held. But it's a decent play the ball in terms of speed, and it's a good carry again. So Swinton continues to just roll upfield. Come to the right-hand side. Really good read in defence from Fletcher, who gets out and makes the tackle. So here's Wood for Swinton. He gives it to Benyon, who rolls forward, takes 3 Hunslet defenders to bring him down. This is the last. They'll play the balls on the 30-metre line. They'll come out to the right-hand side where the kick will go up from Jack Stevens. It's a tall one. It's knocked down, and Swinton could be in here. They could be in here again. They are. Mitchell Cox scores. The kick went up. It was knocked back down into the hands of Mitchell Cox, and he does the rest to double Swinton's advantage.
Well, again, it's disciplined, isn't it, from Swinton? They've not done anything overly complicated. They've just made the easy metres and then played it down that short side with a great kick from Jack Stevens. He didn't need to thread a needle this time. He's put it to floor a couple of times, not come up with any goods, but this time just chipped it in the onside chase from Mitch Cox, who catches the ball and gives a lovely little flick pass there. Oh, it wasn't a flick pass. He kept hold of the ball and just managed to get over with his left-arm fend and put the ball down. So again, worthy of this. 2 tries, lots of pressure, too good at the minute.
Yeah, Jonathan Vaughan, who knocked it down, got up and got the ball down for Cox, who was with him in support. And Swinton back-to-back tries, and after missing an opportunity just the set before, they'll be very pleased to double their lead, and who knows, Abram could knock this one over from the sideline, put them further ahead.
just feels like Hunslet haven't quite settled into the game yet, is it? They've not had any period of time down at this Swinton end. They've not really completed a solid defensive set. They've made 2 or 3 good tackles within a set as Abram steps up for the goal kick.
And via the post, he's got it. So 2 points added from the sideline from Dan Abram. And as you say, Hunslet just need to get themselves back into this game a little bit, settle in. I thought defensively in the first 5-10 minutes they did a reasonable job, but they're just allowing Swinton, aren't they? Too many yards at the middle, too many easy yards out of their own half, and that's the first thing that they need to try and arrest.
Yeah, I don't think you can you can question the desperation and the want and the will, but they're just not defending smart enough. Need to apply some more numbers and control that ruck. You just see there the first defender's hit on his own instead of hitting together. It's a 2-man tackle. Done a great job on that occasion.
Well, Gavin Benning's just helping himself to metres out there, isn't he, the Swinton prop? And now they look to stretch it out again. Abram brings us out to the left. And Jaden Hatton is eventually forced back.
And that's probably a lesson for Swinton as well. They've gone away from the plan, had a shift there, made no metres at all.
Hunslet's defence up on this occasion. And this is probably the best defensive set we've seen from a Hunslet perspective so far in terms of restricting the metres in yardage.
And they've put every man down and they've made every ruck messy and slow.
Now they're coming back to the right-hand side. Stevens. Ferreira again shoots out the line and Stevens runs into the space. He's eventually brought down on the halfway line, so this is the last. They'll come out, put a tall kick up. Will Gibson, Flanagan underneath it, and if anyone's going to make something happen from a Hunslet perspective, it feels like it might be him as he just gets away from a few tackles and then gets a penalty. Just a tackle that rides up around the head.
Well, that's a reward, isn't it, for the good defence? They've been rewarded for what they did defensively. They had a little bit of a disconnect there on that last one through Ferrara, but other than that, it was a really solid defensive effort. And then they get Flanagan with the ball in his hand, like Dan Abram's been doing, to run back at a fractured line, wins a penalty. And again, the second time now that Hunslet get an opportunity to attack the Swinton line.
Just see on that replay, that tackle that just rode up slightly too high. And it's a decent touch-finding kick from the penalty, so Hunslet with some much-needed ball in hand in the Swinton half. They were so clinical when they did get attacking opportunities last week, Hunslet. They'll need to be that again. They almost opened the scoring, of course, on this left edge with that high kick. Render nearly got himself over, but Fletcher on this occasion just keeps it in hand. Real ball-playing prop forward, Fletcher. This is Hallis. He makes some decent metres before being cut down. He's dead centre. They've got shape on both sides, but looks like they're going to come out to this left-hand side where Behera will bring it up to the line, and Flanagan joining the play late. Nearly slices through, but Swinton's defence just about wise to it. This is the last. They'll come out to the right-hand side. Behera will put a crossfield kick in. There's members over there. The ball comes down in a Swinton hand. And again, the Lions surviving a little bit of pressure on their line and then getting a penalty. So just as Hunslet were given a little bit of a piggyback on the field, they've committed the same crime. Too much rotation in the tackle.
Yeah, he's good for a tip tackle, hasn't he?
We'll see it again here. Yeah, there it is, just the wrong side of the horizontal. I'm not sure there's anything in it in terms of intentional malice, but he does go to ground head first, so penalty has been given. It's just Hatton who's still down on that far side, getting a little bit of treatment. It's just one of those, isn't it? There's so many bodies in the tackle, they're all doing slightly different things, and just rotates him too far round.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is hopefully he's okay, but like I said, I don't think there's any malice in it, just again loosening the tackle. But again, taking all that away from it, it's a poor end to a set in good territory for Hunslet again. So Swinton not having to do anything special to get out of territory with a strong carry or penalty. On the first occasion, Hunslet were down here, the ball in touch, albeit a good attacking kick. But so the flip side, Swinton have just been happy to put the ball to floor or put the ball in the air and just make the tackle 2 metres out and make Hunslet really work hard. This Swinton side have not had to work too hard to get out of yardage as of yet, so a bit to fix up for Hunslet. They need the next try, in my opinion. I think Swinton scoring next would you know, could break the souls a little bit of Hunslet team.
Jaden Hatton back up onto his feet, which is good to see. Still getting a little bit of attention from the medics, so we'll just wait and see whether he carries on or whether he's taken off for an assessment. It will be a Swinton penalty when we resume. I just feel that maybe this little break in the game probably helps Swinton as well, just take some of the sting out of how Hunslet were putting them under a little bit of pressure there, but it is a Lions penalty, of course, so they'll get 30 metres for 3 off the back of that, and we'll start this set 10 metres inside their own half. And the way that we've seen them rolling upfield, you would think that they will make them get themselves into enemy territory pretty easily, and they have done already. So Swinton on the attack again. Anthony Walker onto the field for the Lions. He'll play the ball to Eves, who brings it out to the left-hand side to Gibson. Coming back on the inside is Hatton. Now they come out to the right. Leon Cohen as well onto the field of play for the Lions. Just a bit of bench rotation from Alan Keelshaw. 25 minutes or so into this game. Abram could be through. The defence gets up to him. Gets another opportunity to try and burst through, but he is eventually wrapped up, and that was on the last play of the set, so Hunslet will get the ball back, but look at where they're getting it back, Rolf.
Yeah, it's a huge pitch. As I said before, it's sticky underfoot. It's a huge pitch. They're happy to turn the ball over. It's a disciplined finish. They'd probably like to put the toe on it, to be honest, and get a repeat set, but that's the next best thing, isn't it? You know, breaking tackles and finishing the right area of the field. Swinton put a couple of big bodies on now, so they're attacking players, and it's really important that Hunslet get through the set and complete high now.
And again, we saw in that replay, Abram just cutting through the line. The line breaks have come on this right edge from a Swinton perspective. You mentioned the conditions. It's almost like playing on your home golf course, isn't it, when you're on your own track? You know how it plays underfoot. You know the sizes. You know where you can kick to. Swinton using it to their full advantage as huge contact goes in. Big shot. Swinton just trying to lay down the law a little bit. And Hunslet targeting that right edge with Flanagan, as they have done throughout the evening. Now they'll look to spread it to Beherald to put the kick in, and it's a bit of a short one. It's a trick play. It's Render who's trying to get after it. He does get a foot to it, but Purcell is able to bring it in and then make the breakaway. Still evading tackles, Purcell. Still going, eventually stopped. But again, it's a high-risk play from a Hunslet perspective, that short kick. It hasn't paid off, and they're inviting the pressure on. As Vaughan now is forced back by 3 Hunslet defenders, and you can hear around us the reaction from the away fans trying to lift their side. Leon Cohen now with the next carry, and just feels like the intensity's got up a notch. That defensive effort from Hunslet, so now Swinton look to fire back. Still with ball in hand. Jordan Case brings it up to the right-hand side, and Hunslet just doing enough, but it's come off a Hunslet hand, so it's going to be 6 again, but just going to have a breaking play for the medics to get on. Player down. Swinton again, though, just firing some warning shots in Hunslet's direction. There's the kick. It's Render who, not a huge amount he can do with it, and Joe Purcell doing a really nice job of getting away from the defenders and making some metres. The big contact coming in from O'Hanlon off the bench from a Hunslet perspective. Both teams using the reinforcements, and then look at that, Rolls. That's what you want to see, isn't it, from a Hunslet perspective?
Yeah, well, what that did, it brought the fans, isn't it? Didn't it? You can see the chat. There's a lot of chat after that tackle as well. So the Hunslet players are really pumped. The fans are going wild here. They're reacting to it, and they're trying to give as much energy as they can to this Hunslet team, and they need it, don't they? But what they're doing is they're taking trick shots like the kick. Whereas on the flip side, I think Swinton are just methodical, just happy to turn the ball over in the right area of the field. But Hunslet needs something, and it's tackles like that and moments like that of energy and things that don't take any skill, just need commitment, energy.
There's the incident that's led to the injury. It's Ferreira that's down. It was a little bit of friendly fire as 2 Hunslet players trying to defuse the situation. He's still receiving attention
but again,
to our right-hand side.
You've got to commend Swinton there for what they did on the back of that tough tackle. They'd taken back 10 metres, they didn't panic, they didn't get flustered, they just took one tough carry, laid a line, and then went again, got an offload, and it almost deflated the balloon, and that's what Swinton kind of need to keep doing. I think they've been fantastic from start to now, but as we get to 28 minutes in, it's still only 10-0 on the scoreboard, and so what we've seen with this Hunslet side is they don't go away, do they? They're resilient, and they'll live off scraps, so they'll get their moment and they'll get their time of pressure. It always turns around, so they've got to hang in at the minute.
Well, they've got players that can make things happen. We've seen George Flanagan, probably the best in a Hunslet shirt so far, looking really dangerous when he has got the ball. They've targeted him from the fullback position on that right-hand side. He's coming to the line late. He's caused a little bit of disruption amongst the Swinton defence, and sure, Hunslet will just be talking about how they can introduce him into the game more, inject his pace into things.
Well, there's some simple fixes for him, isn't there? The half-time, I know we're 10 minutes away, but the half-time wouldn't not need to be a long discussion. A couple of quick fixes in defence, and then also in attack, just to get that field position. So, and then we'll see the best, won't we, George?
This doesn't look good. I would suggest that is the evening done for Drew Ferreira, as he's carried off the field. So a real blow from a Hunslet perspective, because he's another one of those players that can make things happen. They've got some work to do here again, defending their own line. To mention how important the next try is going to be. Paul, Swinton have a golden opportunity to get it here.
Well, they've got full set, haven't they, as well as...
It's Case with the carry. He settles 8 metres away from the try line. Big moment in the game, you feel already, as they come out to left-hand side to Gibson, but Goddard intercepts, and he's racing away. Swinton defenders tracking him down. I don't think he'll go the distance, but it's a good 60, 70 metres made from the Hunslet centre, and all of a sudden, the away side have their tails up. Ball comes out to the left-hand side, it's scrappy. The referee's going to pull it back, but it will be a penalty for offside. And in the blink of an eye, the whole complexion of this game feels a bit different.
Yeah, it needed that. The game needed that. It was a fantastic intercept, wasn't it? It was a moment. It needed a moment for Hunslet, and that was a fantastic read, wasn't it? And he, like you say, churned up 60 metres, didn't he? And yeah, was it Render who
it was Alfie Goddard who made the interception and raced away. Didn't quite have the pace to go the distance, but he's put his side on the front foot. And a huge opportunity, a full set in their pocket to try and bash down this Swinton line as Hallis gets his nose through the defence. He's stopped a couple of metres short. Now they come out to the right-hand side. Swinton's defence is good, right underneath the sticks. It's a slow play, the ball. They'll come out to the right, look to put some width on it with Knowles. It's a short ball, well read again. Swinton's defence doing a good job in this set so far. Now to come out to the right-hand side, it's messy and it's jumped on by a Swinton player, so Hunslet unable to make it pay. I think it was Eves who was quickest to it. And it feels like a golden opportunity gone begging.
It's 3 sets, isn't it? Wasted now. 3 sets down here. Just get a repeat. They need to build pressure and take some energy out of this Swinton team. It's too easy for them at the minute. But again, it's a great intercept and another opportunity now just to restrict the metres from Swinton. Stamp their authority with the defence.
Maybe we're just seeing a little bit of the fact that Swinton are used to playing opposition, that some of which are full-time, some of which are players that have not long dropped out of Super League. There's some real quality in the Betfred Championship, and the referee's got a decision to make there. He says play on, this is the last, so the kick will go in from Gibson. Hunslet fans to our right don't like it, but the referee says get on with it, so they'll look to put a little bit of width in. In the end, do a reasonable job of getting out from the shadow of their own sticks. Render off his wing, just makes a half break. So Hunslet up to halfway. Decent metres made in this set, maybe their best yardage set of the game. And some of it's come from plays just like this. Flanagan's shooting out from dummy half. Stopped on this occasion. They come out to the left edge. Beharrell, a little bit of misdirection, chops back inside, brings it more central. Good metres made again from a Hunslet perspective. So This is the last, but an opportunity to put the ball up high and put the Swinton back three under some pressure. They come left to the Beharrell. It is a high one. It's Purcell who is put under a little bit of pressure and he doesn't like it, and in the end he gets away with that. Bounces dead, but a real bit of miscommunication in that Swinton back three. You'll see the opportunity, the interception again. It's Goddard who gets onto it and does really well to make the metres that he does.
Well, what it shows you, they're learning, isn't it? They've done that block play, Swinton, several times and come up with joy. In particular, Abram off the bat. This time they've learned. They've got the intercept. But I think that was Hunslet's best set of the game. I thought they really targeted the Swinton middle. It got loose, didn't it, for Swinton? And Hunslet were playing the ball quicker. They looked a whole lot better, but the ball not a lot disciplined. Unfortunately, with the kit, it bounced dead and ended up with a 7-tackle set. So, good signs for Hunslet. They're coming into this game slowly.
George Roby onto the field for Swinton to add a little bit of energy from 9, and the Lions almost were on the right-hand side. Vaughan, he's looked really dangerous in the right centre. Anthony Walker, just a little bit of footwork there. Gets himself through. This is the last, so another opportunity to put an attacking kick in, and they do bring it back onto the inside. It's dealt with well in the end, but Hunslet with 100 metres to make up. And this is just grind, isn't it, from Swinton at this point, making Hunslet play from their own line.
Doing a good job here. The strong carries these. They're getting loose. The ruck's getting quicker. They're finding some joy. This is miles better than the start of the game for them. There's some ascendancy for Hunslet here, making metres in and around that ruck.
Maybe just a little bit of fatigue setting in for both teams, opening this game up, making a few more metres on offer. So they're up to the 40. They will be kicking from inside their own territory, but an opportunity to put the ball deep and try and turn Swinton around. It's Knowles who puts boot to ball, and it's a big one, and it'll bounce again, and it takes a really awkward bounce to the left, and Purcell went after it. It's going to be Swinton ball. Again, the Hunslet fans around us not happy with the call, but Swinton have possession on their own 20-metre line. Williams now looks to get his side out of their own territory and stretches it out to the left. Goddard does a good job to just get out to Hatton and bring him down. Become a little bit frenetic, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, it was good that the ball went back, because it had an opportunity to really strangle Swinton then when they're just feeling fatigued. And then they let him shift it right to left on play one and got caught out. It was really sloppy from Hunslet right heads defensively there.
That's Cameron Berry getting out to Roby and shutting him down. So Swinton's still in their own half for now. Now they're getting to Hunslet territory. But a better set again defensively from a Hunslet perspective. The kick will come from pretty much the halfway line. And they go cross field. Surrender does a really good job underneath it. Wears a couple of tackles but keeps hold of the ball. So he'll play it on the 20-metre line. 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Apologies left in this first half. You feel like it's a really important passage of the game. The points have dried up from a Swinton perspective. Hunslet still looking for their first, but you just feel that if they could get it before the break, it would really change how this game looks in the second 40. Now they come out to the left-hand side. Here's Beharrell, Flanagan Jr. with the step, brings it up to the line. Hunslet into the Swinton half. It comes out to the right-hand side to Beharrell, who has got Vaughan chasing him down. Eventually does manage to get the kick away, but I think it's going to go dead on the full. So we'll come back to the Swinton 40-metre line before they play the ball, and maybe that's just where Hunslet have let themselves down a couple of times in this game. It's that fifth tackle option that's not quite been crisp, is it?
Absolutely. They put a lot of work around Case, and they put a lot of work around Walk, and then that's creating space on edges there. Then they're bringing Flanagan into the mix there. We saw it there, 20-30 metres easy on this left edge for Hunslet. But then it's the last play again, just sloppy on that last play, and I guess that's the difference. You don't get away with that in Championship. It's a tougher competition, but again, they're growing into this game, Hunslet. They're growing into this game.
Maybe you feel as we get closer to the break that if it continues in this vein, it may just come at the wrong time, and Hunslet could be away on the right-hand side again. Huge opportunity. They're going to get the score that they've had McNee. Hunslet are going to get on the board. Mackenzie Turner with the interception, and he goes the distance. And just as we talk about Hunslet growing into this game, they grow on the scoreboard as well. Goddard had the interception a few minutes ago. He was cut down, but there's no stopping Mackenzie Turner, and Hunslet are back in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. We spoke about it, didn't we? We could feel it. This is from the working defence and simplifying the game. I said before, they're getting around the big men. They brought the bench on Swinton to soften up Hunslet in Walker and Case.
See it again. Roby brings it to the short side. It comes off a shoulder. Goddard gets a hand to it. Falls for Turner, and his middles that are chasing him down, and he's away. And this band of Hunslet supporters to our right-hand side absolutely exploded. Game on.
Let's call for an 8-pointer there as well, because he's dropped on him late, hasn't he, after he scored the try. But yeah, just saying that they brought the big man on, haven't they, Walker and Case, just to probably put the final nail in Hunslet's coffin. And it's just worked absolutely against them. They've spotted the two big fellas, it's preserved space for them, and they've got them on edges. And they've looked in all sorts, Swinton, for the last 10 minutes. Hunslet have really clawed their way back into this game, and that's exactly what this game needed, and certainly Hunslet needed. So fantastic from them on the right edge. That's twice now. They obviously got the intercept earlier. This time he's gone the distance and showed a clean pair of heels. Fair play to the spirit of Hunslet, I guess. And again, I think, as I said before, I feel like they've settled into the game. They were full of emotion for that first 10, 15, 20 minutes, and really not doing anything with great detail or finesse. But they look far more settled, far more composed, and far more disciplined now.
Well, that'll change the team talk, you feel, at half-time. Maddie Beharrell now. Big kick, this. Hunslet going to need every point that they can muster. And it's good. So the lead is cut down to 4. And Hunslet getting a try that maybe just on the balance of the last few minutes, isn't it? It's just a little bit of overplaying, isn't it, from Swinton? We see the replay again. Maybe just trying a little bit too much over on that left edge, and Turner with the speed. Maddie Beharrell comes over to the Hunslet fans, geeing them up.
That was a little bit, maybe they've thought Hunslet were just ready to cave, but they made a sterner stuff, aren't they, this Hunslet team, and we saw that last week against Keighley. They do not go away, and they are resilient. So again, proving to be this week.
Team U will be really pleased.
Well, the fans are having a party, I know that. They're very, very loud. Very excited here.
Yeah, fantastic backing.
There's a nervousness around Swinton fans, isn't there? We've got Swinton to our left, Hunslet to our right, and these lot are having a party. The Swinton lot a little bit nervous.
There is so much at stake. What a climax to the season, and a Hunslet penalty, and they've still got time in this half. That clock on your screen is just a guide, so I think there's probably just over a minute left. Should be time for a full set from a Hunslet perspective. The penalty will be on the halfway line, so Beharrell can try to put this kick deep. So all of a sudden, having been in control for most of this half, Swinton have a set to defend out to make sure that they go into the break in the lead. So Beharrell has the ball. He'll bring it back inside to Hallis. Swinton's line speed is good. Hallis still makes some decent meters, but he's forced onto his back, so that'll slow the play the ball down. Hunslet comes to the right-hand edge again. Here's Knowles, but he spills it. The chance goes begging. Really disappointed from a Hunslet perspective, because that really would have put the cat amongst the pigeons if they'd been able to do something with that set, but Knowles just leaves his hands at home on that occasion. See it again, Berry with the ball out, and he's almost thinking about what he's going to do with it, isn't he, before he's actually caught it. Yeah,
he's done good there, Barry. He's got out the dummy half really good and really quick, and it's a poor mistake from Knowles there. He's been around, and yeah, he'll rue that opportunity. But again, we can put that on the list of missed chances for Hunslet down this edge. What is that? Probably 5 sets down here, 6 sets down here, probably 1 completed or finished well. So a lot to fix up, but easy fix-ups Hunslet will be. He didn't go with a penalty.
Too much in the ruck. And a penalty, so there's the hooter.
Well, it's not going to hurt him, is it?
Swinton will get one play off the back of this kick to try and do something with. So it's a decent kick as well. It takes them into Hunslet territory, so maybe they'll just try and keep the ball alive here, see if they can force something on the final play of the half.
There's a full backline set up here, so gonna have a crack.
They go for the kick. It's Purcell chasing it down. The bounce could be kind. Can he keep it in the field of play? Hunslet's defence just does enough in the end to shepherd it out. So that will be that for the first 40 here at Heywood Road. And what an entertaining 40 it's been, Paul Rowley.
Oh God, yeah, he's been so intense from Swinton. I just thought the discipline and the game plan was fantastic.
The end of that set again, Purcell trying to get it back in.
He got it back in, didn't he? He's just put it out there, Flanagan at the end, just to the relief of these Hunslet fans actually. But yeah, it was a great start from Swinton. I just thought they dominated the most of that half. But again, down to a little bit, probably Hunslet being a little bit excitable to start the game, full of emotion, and then they've really settled down into the game. And the try for Hunslet was so important for them.
Well, let's just remind ourselves how that first half unfolded, and Swinton at this point had been camping themselves in Hunslet territory and eventually making it pay.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's the big passes when it was from the Swinton halfbacks. Really got some width after fracturing the Hunslet's middle up and getting them in all sorts, creating chaos, and then just found that space on the edge there for Rhys Williams to go in with the opener. And a simple try for him, but again, great width on the pass from the Swinton halves.
This is the second. They came close.
Yeah, absolutely.
The set before, it's Vaughan who gets up and knocks it down to Cox, and it's always going to be difficult to stop from there.
Yeah, it's a kick from Jack Stevens, sticking to plan, disciplined, just chipping it up in the air, and it's Mitch Cox who's in and around. He's always there, isn't he? Mitch Cox is a fantastic pro. He's been around this championship now for such a long time, and he's a good athlete, so he's too strong for Flanagan to hold up.
You know, this the moment, just a couple of minutes after Goddard had nearly gone the distance from an interception, Mackenzie Turner does. And this is the try that just puts a little bit of doubt into the minds of the Swinton Lions.
Yeah,
and it just gives Hunslet a little bit more motivation to go after them.
Well, it's a carbon copy, isn't it? Just that block play though, and like you said, where they nearly got them on the first one, this time he goes the length, doesn't he? So they've grown into this game, but more importantly, they've really learned some lessons. They've took on board what's been happening in the first 20-30 minutes, and while Swinton have not been able to break Hunslet, they've learned and been better as the half's gone on.
So 40 minutes left to decide who will take the final place in the Betfred Championship next season, and it is still on a knife edge. Don't go away. We'll be back with the second half very, very shortly. You're not going to go away. This game's too good. There's too much on the line. We'll see you soon. That is a remarkable finish.
Burke goes for the corner, and Leah Burke's there. And it's Tamsin Renew. The pass from Holly Dodd.
And this could be the first goal of the game, because London are going to get there and touch down. He's gone for the same ball, and it's going to work.
Beautiful.
They might score the winner. And North Wales have another.
Brings it up to the line, drops it off to Hazard, who reaches through. So here we go, 80 minutes, live and exclusive here on the Sportsman. Bringer comes flying in on Walmsley.
Here come York, flick pass, and the rover! What drama, what a finish.
The last, they've got the mismatch, but Roberts is going to go himself. Jack Roberts has his second of the game.
Flick pass to Collins, Butler will score.
He does pass to Walmsley. Walmsley looking for the finish, and he's over in the corner. Ferreira could
he's got it. He's got his fourth.
That down. They've got in. Instant impact.
Free, he's still going. He's going to score. Wow.
The Scimitar includes the words, "My strength is at its peak." You would not deny them that, would you?
Let's go. Because Luhai's dancing now. Oh, he's found the gap, puts it back on the inside. Paolo spins it away. Luhai backs
these two nations all around the stadium.
Forwards through the first line, and through the second, and through the third, and England on the try. Oh, eyes up rugby league from Lingy Shah. Williams with a kick to the corner, here they go, Wilkinson! He pops it over the top, left eye's got the football, and left eye's got the try.
Revenge is a dish, best served cold.
Photo shoot for the New England kit. What's your first thoughts on the new colours?
Yeah, it's really nice, mate. Hopefully I get to put it on at the end of this year, but like I say, first thoughts, colours are really nice, and yeah, it should go well.
I love it. I think it's really good. You know, it's predominantly white, which I think for me it's that wall of white that is England, and then obviously the red and the blue on it. I think it's really, really nice, and the navy shorts as well. Big fan of those, so yeah, excited. Fingers crossed, hopefully get to wear it at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's very nice. I really like it. Well, every opportunity you get to sort of wear the badge and represent your country and represent all the people before it and all the present and future. So it's very, very nice to be able to do it, and a very humbling experience and something that I cherish and very look forward to these days. So yeah, it's very nice and very, very blessed to be able to don the kit for the first time.
Yeah, obviously you always want to be involved at the end of the season when it comes to the internationals, and you know, on the back of a good Tonga series last year, you know, getting a 3-0 win was great for us as a squad. So yeah, moving forward, obviously I'd love to be involved again and carry on from where we left off, and try and do a similar job on Samoa at the end of the year.
Look, the more fixtures for England for me, the better. Such a proud moment, getting the opportunity to play for your country, but also, for us in terms of building a brand as Team England for the women's game and getting fans behind us. I think it's a great opportunity to play more fixtures domestically so that the fans can come and get behind us, because I think one of the advantages in the women's game is there's loads of fans that just love women's rugby league, so they'll have favourites on each different team, Saints, York, Leeds, Wigan, and then they can come and watch England and watch the best players come together and support everyone. So yeah, England's a great chance to do that.
Yeah, it's really exciting, mate. Obviously, think back to the World Cup 2 years ago. We got beat against them in the semi-final, so it'll be good to get another crack against them at the end of the year, and hopefully be a good series and we can get a win.
That is a remarkable finish.
Burke goes for the corner, and Leah Burke's in. And it's Tamsin Renew. The pass from Holly Dodd.
And this could be the first goal of the game, because London are going to get there and touch down. He's gone for the same ball, and it's going to work.
Beautiful.
They might score the winner. And North Wales have another.
Brings it up to the line, drops it off to Hazard, who reaches through. Well, welcome back to Heywood Road. Running out of games, aren't we, this season? That international series over the end will be fantastic. Samoa have named a great squad, but here in Sale, we've got the matter of deciding the final championship side for next season. And to be honest, Paul Rowley, we're none the wiser as to who it's going to be at this stage. Fantastic 40 minutes of rugby league, and this game blown wide open by that Mackenzie Turner try.
Yeah, absolutely, and like I said before, I think Swinton been here before, haven't they? And they started with a great blueprint. They just carried strong and then got them on the edges there again with that width of pass from Gibson and from Stevens, and just to get to Rhys Williams in that left edge there. They did a great, the game plan was working perfectly. Soften them up, go hard up the middle, easy meters, ones that weren't coping, and then the width and accuracy of them, the passes there from the pivots was fantastic from from Swinton to Hatton and to Williams, it finally in the corner.
They're on the ropes at this point, weren't they? Stevens again with the kick just goes up. It was after Hunslet had survived a set previously. On this time, it's Cox that goes over. And so at this stage, it looked like Swinton were on a roll and might have run away with it, but Hunslet have done a really good job, haven't they, in the second part of that first half to reel them back in. But from a Swinton perspective, I'm sure the message will be go back to doing what you were doing in the first 20 minutes.
If you look at the Super League Grand Final last night, you look at it and you see the obvious blueprint, don't you? Discipline, kick to corners. That time it was Vaughan to Cox, scored the try. But they've got Hunslet on a couple of times down edges with little trick plays, little block plays. But on this occasion, Hunslet fully aware. They've learned the lessons, as we said from earlier. And there it is, the intercept. And, well, he showed a fine pair of clean heels. 60, 70 metres and gets Hunslet back in the game. And like I said, the last 10, 15 minutes, Hunslet really grew into this game and just started to feel comfortable. And to be fair, that came from what they did defensively. They learned how to cope with Swinton. They put every tackle to floor. 2 and 3 defenders in to commit and slow down that ruck. As we see in these big games as well, referees, they don't want to give penalties so that the game flows. They get a little bit more time to make that ruck slow and controlled. So the enthusiasm and early excitement from Hunslet just jumping off rucks, like I say, settled down, and it looked a far more even contest the back half of that first half.
So both teams out for the second half. And there was already a cracking atmosphere here, but it just feels like it's gone up a notch. The intensity of the last 10 minutes of that first half, and Hunslet getting themselves on the scoreboard, and you just never know, do you? George Flanagan just a little bit too keen with the kick-off there. Still quite a few substitutes, medics, trainers making their way over from the tunnel. The changing room's on that far side, so we'll just wait for everyone to get themselves ready. And then we'll go again.
Big moment for Hunslet if the score stays like this is when Swinton decide to make the changes and bring the starting front row back on, who I thought were exceptionally good. And them open exchanges in Houghton and Benyon for Swinton. I thought they carried really strong in and behind that ruck of Hunslet.
So we are back underway. Swinton with the ball, first set of this second half, and the ball's come loose, but it's going to be a penalty for a strip. There were hands in there. I think he's probably got that spot on, James Vella. We'll see it again. There definitely was a lot of interest around the ball. Here's the carry. And the hand just comes over the top. It's a bit 50-50, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's definitely interest on the ball, whether it's enough to warrant the penalty or not.
Well, you've seen him give and you've seen him not, haven't you? So there's hands in, but there's an argument they should have better control as well.
Yeah, not a decision I'd want to have to make. But ultimately the decision is that it's a penalty and Swinton roll downfield. So Roby still at dummy half, and they'll come out to the left-hand side. Cooper forced back towards halfway by 3 Hunslet defenders. 4 Hunslet defenders, in fact. So much enthusiasm in their work without ball in hand. That's essentially what got them into this situation with that win against Keighley last week, and that is what has kept them in this game so far. And then that try, of course, towards the end of the second half. So here's Hatton for Swinton, rides a couple of tackles and still going before being brought down just over the 30-metre mark. He'll play the ball dead centre. Roby will bring us out to the right-hand side, and now they look to apply the width. Vaughan cuts back on the inside, brings it into the middle again. This is the last. Swinton favouring this left-hand side. Ball kick comes through from Gibson. Flanagan deals with it well. He stopped a metre away from his own try line, so similar pattern to what we saw in the first half, and it's going to be a Hunslet penalty to let them out. It's just one of those. Turner loses his footing, the tackle comes over the top. It's a high shot. It's a penalty for Hunslet and a frustrating one for Swinton.
Yeah, absolutely. It's unfortunate. He slipped into the tackle. Again, no malice, but, there's contact to the head and it's a penalty. But, it's the tough ones from Swinton. I'm not sure what he's meant to do there, but it's his objective, isn't it? And it's his responsibility too.
It's Leon Cohen, the man who's given the penalty away, and as you say, just one of those that's very, very difficult to stop.
Good opener from Swinton. They'll turn the ball back under twice, so they've obviously had the messages ringing in their ear from the coach to stay on this Hunslet middle as they started the game.
So here's Hallis looking to bring Hunslet up towards halfway. In fact, he stopped on the halfway line, so good metres made in that carry. Oh, and it could be through here. What an opportunity this is. Just ran out of options. It was Ethan O'Hanlon who went through. Needed a support runner that wasn't there, but Hunslet with a big opportunity here. Lewis Ray has a dig at the Swinton line. He stopped 5 metres away. What a score this would be at the beginning of the second half if Hunslet could get themselves on the board. Swinton defending well so far. Flanagan brings us out to the left. This is the last. They come out to the right-hand side. It's not the greatest ball, and Beryl goes down, manages to get the offload away, so the play stays alive. That's been played at, so it's a repeat set. Hunslet building pressure, probably the first repeat set we've seen all game. What can they do with it? O'Hanlon again has a dig. Swinton's defence is good. Under the sticks. Berry brings us out to the right-hand side to Knowles. Knowles into the line and then gives the pass back to Flanagan, but it's a really good read defensively. Flanagan shut down. So we'll come back to the left. Here's Ray again, trying to barge his way over the top of George Roby, but he does well. Swinton hooker to stand firm in defence. Hunslet again coming out to the left-hand side. Knowles again. Could be in here through Hallis. 3 Swinton defenders in there doing a good job, but he's got the offload away to Berry. What an offload from Harvey Hallis, and Berry scores the try. The Loxley scores up at 10-all with the kick to come. Hunslet getting the repeat set, making it pay, and the perfect start to the second half for Team Muirside.
Well, we said, didn't we, 10 minutes before half-time, the luck would change, that they'd have some territory and everything would go in their favour a little bit. They'd have their moment, and this is their moment, a break from in that set, and then a repeat set. There's a little bit of luck, and like you said, it was a fantastic offload from Hallis, who's been really strong in this game. It was a fantastic offload, and Barry again, we spoke about him being lively before. Well, there's Johnny on the spot, takes the offload too quick, and then look at the Swinton body language. They all have heads down straight away.
It's a remarkable job from Hallis to get this ball away. He's got 4 defenders on him, somehow manages to still make the offload to Berry, who slides over unopposed, and all of a sudden Hunslet have the opportunity to take the lead, and now there really are some nerves jangling around the place.
Well, this is going to test the like you said, the nerves before. I think they started the game composed. As we speak, I question when they bring the starting pack on.
Just going to say, look at this, Benyon and Woods coming back onto the field, so Alan Kilshaw not hanging around and getting some of his big guns back onto the field. Beryl with the kick, and he's got it, so Hunslet lead. 12 points to 10 with 5 minutes played in the second half. We wondered if they could back it up from last week. Well, they certainly are doing that.
That's fantastic, isn't it, from Hunslet? Again, it's Hallis with a strong carry off Knowles, though. He's playing at pivotal. And then Barry, like you said, real quick. Swinton stood on the heels. And like I say, it's a test of their character now. They brought the starting pack on. It's just about got interesting, hasn't it, this game?
What a game we've got here, Paul. What a game we have got here, live and exclusive on the Sportsman. A place in the championship at stake. Hunslet against all odds at the moment with their noses in front. What a story it would be if they came here and turned Swinton over in similar fashion to what they did against Keighley. Sure, the Lions will still have something to say about that, though. Plenty of quality in this Swinton side, as we've mentioned. Benyon and Wood rolled back onto the field, so certainly the impetus you will think from a Swinton perspective will be up the middle, as Hallis makes another good carry, looking for a quick play. Doesn't quite get it. They come out to Beryl, who brings it up to the line, and here's Flanagan, still going Flanagan, that's knocked down, and we're going to come back for a penalty to Hunslet, and all of a sudden the whole complexion of this game has changed, and Swinton, well, they look panicked.
Well, what's happening is Hunslet are doing to Swinton what Swinton did to Hunslet in that first half. The actual same shape, but they're getting them It's Flanagan, when he gets involved in this game, Swinton are a nervous wreck. He's such a lively player. He's got so much pace, and he's causing no end of problems. There's another set now for Hunslet as the pressure grows.
Sure, there'll be some Huddersfield fans watching on with interest. George Flanagan Jr. As Barrel brings us back into the inside. Hallis again has a go at the Swinton line. Another Hunslet try here really would put the cat amongst the pigeons. Send these fans to our right into absolute raptures, so they come out to the right edge. Here's Knowles. Here is Flanagan, who brings the ball into the line, looks to apply some weight. Goddard almost goes through, but Swinton's defence just about deals with it. Flanagan looks to go himself, does go himself and scores! George Flanagan Jr. from dummy half goes one way, then the other, scores the try. And 8 minutes into this second half, Hunslet have completely turned this game on its head.
Well, it's them words again. Pressure, isn't it? Territory, completion. Hunslet have been just so direct. They've carried strong. The ruck's been quick. And then I said before, this guy's just caused them all sorts of problems. They're a nervous wreck. They're standing off. They're taking his dummies. And, well, he's been great, hasn't he? And, well, he's stamped his mark on the game now. And that's a huge try in the scheme of things, if he can pick this goal as well. So what a try from dummy half from Flanagan. It's a big dummy. They've all
the players at the ruck height, don't they?
Yeah. Cooper's done. He's took the dummy from dummy half there. Oh dear! What a good try from Flanagan.
Well. Who saw this coming at 10-0?
Well, they look energised, don't they, Hunslet, at the minute? So at one point in that first half, 15-20 minutes in, they looked like they was going to break. Like I said before, Swinton brought the big boppers on off the bench, but it wasn't Hunslet who broke. They kept hold of the ball. Completion became the narrative for them, and they started to tie him, loosen up the Swinton defence, and from then on in, it's been all Hunslet. So it's great. George Flanagan, number 23 for Hunslet. It's a fantastic try, obviously on loan from Huddersfield. Big future ahead in the game.
So Barrel with an opportunity to stretch the lead, and he does. 2 more points for Hunslet. You mentioned that they look energised. They've really brought this strong away contingent into the game, and I'm sure that'll be giving them a few extra percent as well.
100%.
In the batteries.
100%. It's a nervous Swinton crowd, and now it's a nervous Swinton side. It wasn't at the beginning, but now it is. They've got to go back to basics. A long time to go in this game. A long time.
Well, this is where you look to your experience, isn't it? If you're Swinton, this is where your Dan Abrams, your Rhys Williams, your Gavin Benyons need to step up and make something happen, because they are fighting for their lives in the Betfred Championship. All the energy, all the momentum, all the pressure has been with Hunslet in this second half. They've had an electric start. They look for a penalty, nothing given from James Valla, so they'll keep it in the middle. Swinton's line speed is quick, looking for an error, looking for something that might just turn the tide on this game again. It's been one way and then the other. Knowles puts boot to ball. Vaughan has to go back and deal with it, but under some pressure. And even those kicks in the first half weren't coming off from a Hunslet perspective.
Well, like you say, it's different. They're a different team. The line speed's different. The kick chase was different. It's connected. In the first half, it was all one out. Like I said before, the emotion of the event.
Way goes Rhys Williams, just for a second looked like he was going to burst through. But really good work at the ruck from Hallis to stop Abraham from shooting away. Now Benyon, big carry from him, but met well by the Hunslet defence. And this is the last, so Swinton kicking from the halfway line. Gibson puts it high. Flanagan looking to get underneath it. Hatton putting him under pressure, brings it in cleanly. Swinton now, the defensive set to try and pen Hunslet in, and that's a good first tackle from a Lions perspective. They just need to get some control back. They had it, and they've lost it.
Yeah, they have, and you can see from Hunslet now, when they've been defending, they've been applying 3 men in that tackle. It's a lot more control. They've just got to be careful they don't get caught on edges. As you see Hunslet, they'll claim every little bit of penalty now. They'll scrap for everything.
Well, it does change the whole kind of mentality of the game, doesn't it? As the 40-20 attempts feels so short, but all of a sudden, from a Hunslet perspective, it becomes about game management, and from a Swinton perspective, when they were managing the game in the first half, they've got to make things happen.
Well, and what you see there from Burrell is it's gone for a 40-20, but the outcome's actually a good outcome, putting it out into touch and creating a structured restart, taking the chaos away from Swinton, get energy back in your defensive line, and then they can apply them 3 men again and get control of that ruck. So the more structured restarts that they have from defence.
Big carry, met well, Gav Benyon. You can just sense that Swinton are sending the Sherman tanks into battle, getting them up the middle. Roby brings us out to the right-hand side where Leon Cohen will take the next carry, gets a decent play of the ball. Roby will dart out from dummy half and get 10-15 yards for it, so it will be an attacking kick. They're looking for the quick play. Abram brings us out to the left-hand side where Gibson will put the ball up in the air for Williams and Hatton to get after, but Mackenzie Turner does a really good job of getting up and bringing that in. So Hunslet are on their own goal line, but they have the ball. Goddard with the carry, rides a couple of tackles, gets 5 or 6 metres for his troubles. Flanagan at acting half brings us out to the right-hand side. Let's check Render off his wing. And again, Flanagan just shooting up the middle, getting some good territory for it. Knowles now at acting half brings us to Fletcher, who doesn't try anything there, just straight up the middle. This is the last Hunslet kicking from inside their own half, so maybe just a little bit of a switch in the pendulum from a Swinton perspective to where they're going to start this set, but that kick bounces around before Purcell brings it in and then brings it up to the line. He's met by Goddard. Abraham now at acting half brings us out to the left, and again Rhys Williams will have the job of trying to march his team downfield. He's met by Knowles and Fletcher and Goddard, who eventually bring him down. Abraham brings us out to the right-hand side. Jaden Hatton with a good carry and still going up towards the 40. That gets his team on the front foot. Not quite the quick play the ball that he would have wanted, but Swinton still marching forward. Gibson brings us to the right-hand side. Swinton could be in here. Ball comes back on the inside. It's been knocked down. Roby picks it up and we're back to 0. So a full set for Swinton, 5 metres away from the Hunslet line. Abraham at the play the ball. Brings us out to the right. Hunslet's defence reads that well. Big moment for Swinton here as they look to try and turn the momentum around in this game. Full set right on that Hunslet line. These are the chances that you have to make pay. Wood looks to force his way over. He's over the line. Has he got it down? James Ellis says he has, and Swinton strike back. And after looking to try and stretch Hunslet left and right, just a big carry up the middle from the loose forward, and Swinton have some much needed points.
Yeah, well, we spoke about the bench, didn't we? There's Wood and Benyon that's come on and really made the difference, haven't it? The strength of carry is fantastic. There's the break. It is Benyon who goes on that line there. It's a great line. Hunslet recover it. Yeah, they recover it. They make it scrappy. They solve the problem. But it's a matter of time, and fair play to Swinton. They were really patient, really disciplined, and then again it's another strength of carry from Wood. The bench in the first half and the second half has made a considerable difference to the outcome of Swinton's fortunes, and again just carrying strong. The blueprint's there, it's simple. Defence wins big games.
So Abram knocks over a routine conversion to bring the deficit down to 2 points, and from a Swinton perspective, boy do they need that. It's been all Hunslet in the second half, but that may just settle things down from a Swinton perspective. It'll be interesting to see how fitness comes into this game now.
Yeah, well, we said, didn't we? I think it was 2 sets ago. We said, you know, they were applying 3 in the tackle. They were slowing the ruck down. It was on the edges where they just needed to be careful, because we've seen on a couple of times in the first half, Swinton's first try was width of pass, just cutting out 2 and 3 defenders because the spacing's a little bit tight around the ruck Hunslet. So it's the edges where they've just got to be connected and make sure they're defending them inside shoulders, where it was that Benyon went through a gaping hole, and it's a missed tackle from I think it was 3-man, third defender in.
Frantic, breathless rugby league football here on the Sportsman. What a game it's been. Still a lot of time left to settle this one. Both teams will feel that this is there for the taking. It's Hunslet who lead at the moment, of course, but Swinton have plenty of quality in that side to turn that around as Benyon comes up to the line again. It's met well by Berry. In fact, that was Gibson making the carry, just keeping the ball in hand. Now to come out to the right, Roby, short ball. Crash line up towards the halfway line. And that is the tactic, isn't it, from a Swinton perspective, just go up the middle. But as I say that, they look to apply some width. Here's Purcell, just has to try and cut back on the inside. He's running out of space over on that right edge, so he settles the ball 35 metres away. This is the last tackle, so expect that this one will go high. Try and get it caught up in the floodlights and cause some disruption. Ball goes up into the air. Dealt with in the end from a Hunslet perspective. There's a player down in backfield. I'm trying to see who it is. I think it might be Gibson for Swinton. He's just gingerly coming back into the line.
Yeah. He's just some kick pressure on him, I think.
We'll see it again. Puts the kick up into the air, and yeah, just a little bit left in there. So still, we wait for the moment in this game that may decide which one of these teams is playing Betfred Championship Rugby League in 2025. Both sets of fans right into this game. It's like a tennis umpire just trading songs above our head here in this standing terrace, Paul, as Williams evades a couple of tackles and still going up towards the halfway line. 3 defenders in there eventually do bring him down.
I think Matty Burrell's got to get his hands on the ball in them last plays. His accuracy of kicks just a little bit better than Knowles, who's in somewhat unfamiliar.
It's a good carry from Hatton. He's still going. He's forced onto his back, which slows the play ball down. In fact, if he'd have taken the initial tackle, he might have got the quick play that would have got his team on the front foot. As it is, Gibson brings us out to the right-hand side, and the ball spilt by Jack Stevens, and Hunslet have the ball in Swinton territory. Berry now going up the middle. Fletcher at acting half, out to Flanagan. Flanagan brings it back on the inside to Hallis. Let's not forget as well, this Hunslet team have lost Juve Ferreira for the game to an injury, so they're essentially playing not a man down in terms of numbers on the field, but certainly an interchange down. Beharrell brings us out to the left, steps back inside, comes on the right, now looking to get up the middle. And just settle it in the centre, but Hunslet making decent yards. All the options on this right-hand side are there. Knowles brings it back into the middle, though. Gets the offload away to Fletcher. We've seen what he can do with ball in hand. He just ramps it up the middle. Settled eventually on this right-hand side. Still tackles in hand for Hunslet. Goddard at acting half brings us out to the left to Flanagan. Flanagan just with the short drop-off ball to Carr. He'll play the ball pretty central. They'll come out to the left-hand side. This is the last, so Beharrell puts it high into the sky for Purcell to deal with. Where's this going to come down? Well, Hunslet think they've scored, but I think we're going to come back for a 20-metre restart. Or, in fact, it's going to be a play the ball.
Was a give offside?
I think he's just given the end of set. I think he said that it's been knocked on from a Hunslet hand. Renderer got up. Difficult to see who had the defining touch in that, but it will be Swinton who come away with the ball. I think Render did just touch that as he comes up. He goes up for it. Oh, maybe just comes off his shoulder and goes forward. Really
it's a tough call.
Difficult decision to make live.
It's a tough call. Got to recover though. They've got Swinton in a good spot here. Just keep them tidy set and then they get to go again, don't they? It's a big pitch, we keep saying it, it's hard to get out.
But get out they do, up towards halfway. Now they come to the left-hand side, and Gibson was just looking for that return ball back on his inside to Abraham. In the end, probably made the right decision to keep it in hand. If he had managed to get that away, Abraham would have been clear, but this is the last, so Stevens will just put these up in the air. A bit of a dishevelled end to the set from a Swinton perspective, but it may work because it's taken a bounce which has turned George Flanagan Jr. around, and he'll look to return. He gives the ball to Render, who's cut down, but he gets a quick play the ball, and Flanagan's on the spot to follow up. He's so busy, isn't he? George Flanagan. And the evidence of what we've seen, certainly the last few weeks, a big future in front of him, the Huddersfield low knee, although, as I say that, he's down in back play. He's back to his feet now, but just the trainer is on. So Hunslet with the ball on the 40. Now they come out to Fletcher. Fletcher up towards the halfway line. This is the last. Hunslet kicking from inside their own half again. Knowles puts a low kick through for Abraham to have to deal with, which he does relatively routinely, and he'll bring it back up towards the 20. Avoids a couple of tackles, in fact. Still going, Abraham. In the end, cut down. Really dangerous with ball in hand. That elusive step off both feet. Swinton now applying some width to give the ball out to Williams, who just sees a gap in between Knowles and Goddard and goes through it, and he's away. Williams, he's away on this left-hand side, still going in the end. Mackenzie Turner gets across and brings him down, but really good metres made from the Wales international winger. So Swinton now on the front foot. Here's Vaughan. He rides a couple of tackles to make some metres, settles the ball over on that right edge. Swinton just keeping ball in hand, not overplaying at this stage, but this could be the platform for them to maybe put one of those block plays that they favoured on this left-hand side. That's the way they go. Benyon nearly crashes through, but he's brought down. This is the last. Big kick, big end of the set. Roby brings it up to the line. They're going to go for it on 5th. I think Hunslet have just done enough, but the ball's still alive.
Johnny in the far!
Now he comes out to the left-hand side. Here's Vaughan. Could have an overlap on the right. Ball goes through and scores. And again the pendulum swings. Swinton take the lead back. It was a frantic end to the set. The ball came back out to the right-hand side, and Vaughan scores over on that edge. A bit of afters as well. It's been played at a real high temperature all evening. From the word go, really, both teams have been at each other.
Got to go back to them last plays there. Again, I mentioned earlier just Knowles on this right edge, but Barrell needs to really take control of that last play, and they'd be better putting the ball out into touch.
This is the break from Williams that starts it all. Just rides those tackles. It's almost a tired effort, isn't it, from Goddard? He's done a huge amount of work, and Williams able to get on the front foot, quick play the ball as well. And then Roby brings us out to the right-hand side. They nearly go through here. It's Cox who manages to keep the ball carrying arm up, and then there's the overlap. Vaughan with options to go wide, but does really well to just bring it inside himself, and it's a massive try. It's a massive moment in this game, because all of a sudden Swinton are back in that position that Hunslet were just in, where the job now is to manage the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, they're just playing direct, aren't they? But again, it's that last play for me, the kicking there to Dan Abram, who's going to create some chaos on that first play, which he did, which enabled the space, then tight defenders for Williams. He's too strong, and he churned up the metres then before the big boppers get involved, and just played nice and direct. It's a really tough one to take, actually. Mitch Cox was down there quite a long time before he gets the offload away. It's a great offload, and again, instrumental. Mitch Cox, as he often is.
Big kick this from Abram. It's a good strike, but it's just wide, so the lead stays at 2 points for Swinton. We're sure there'll be plenty of people watching at home who don't have a dog in this fight just like us, but what an entertaining evening we've had, Paul, already.
Yeah, there's 15 minutes left as well. It seemed to last forever this half.
At least 15 minutes left, who knows?
Yeah, it's nervous, isn't it? So there's a nervousness around the ground from both sets of fans now. It's nip and tuck, and I guess it's the guys who have the most composure in these last 15 minutes. Swinton have just took the ascendancy in that respect, but Hunslet can easily gain it back. They've forced errors, they're still energised. Again, just them last plays for me, and then they give themselves a chance. So it's 2 points, just a penalty behind, so all to play for.
So here we go again, the next roll of the dice. Where will they fall? 15 minutes left to settle this one. Swinton edge ahead, but Hunslet still very much in this. So Flanagan gets us back underway, deep kick-off. Purcell just has to backtrack a little bit, but brings it in cleanly. From a Swinton perspective now, it's just error-free football, isn't it? That's what they need. Hunslet are going to throw everything at them. The last 15 minutes of their season. Roby brings us out to the left.
We talk about throwing everything at them. They just need to throw everything defensively because they've got the X-factor players, haven't they, in Flanagan in particular, when they get down here. So just apply themselves in this area, get the ball in good field position, and they've got a chance.
We've mentioned his name a couple of times. He obviously got the first try of the night, but Rhys Williams has had some really important interventions, some big carries out of yardage, and that break which got Swinton into scoring position there. He's done a huge amount of work for his team as the kick goes in, looking to turn Hunslet round. And a good touch-finding kick, exactly that cliche. Game management.
Well, this is game control, isn't it? Again, structured restarts, they've re-energised, they can walk into shape, they get a nice flat defensive line. And Hunslet have to do it tough, don't they? The last thing you want is to run back in chaos and find loose tackles.
Just takes some time, doesn't it, out of the game? Takes a little bit of the taste out of the game.
Yeah.
It's a fine line from a Swinton perspective because they're only 2 points ahead, so they still need to put some scoreboard pressure on. We've seen a couple of interceptions, big contact goes in from Gibson, just about kept that the right side of the horizontal, so absolutely nothing wrong with it. Can Hunslet respond again? You see that contact, it's a big shot, comes in. Flanagan doing everything he can over on that left edge to just try to cause a little bit of chaos in the Swinton defensive line, but they hold firm. It's another messy end to the set. The ball's gone forward. Referee says play on, and it will be Swinton ball. So here's Vaughan. Could be going straight through it. Vaughan. Fletcher just does enough. Vaughan eventually brought down just for a split second. He was nearly through. It's going to be a full set for Swinton. Deep in Hunslet territory. Will this be the defining moment, not just of the evening, but of the season for these two teams, as Hatton brings us back onto the inside. Hunslet's defence is good. Knowles is in there, slowing the play, the ball down, so is Fletcher. Eventually the tackle is complete. Eves back onto the field. For Swinton is Vaughan, just about manages to bring it in, juggles it, but brought down on that right-hand side. And Swinton, we've seen them come coast to coast a couple of times. Will they look to do it again? Not on this occasion. Just keeping the ball in hand, working through the tackles, working through the set. Now maybe they look to apply some width. Gibson just riding a couple of tackles and comes down. Still tackles in hand. Here's Eves, the ball goes down. Knowles unable to jump on it. Here's Flanagan. The referee's just going to bring us back here. So Hunslet survive at a crucial point in the game. It was a messy end to the set from a Hunslet perspective, which allowed Vaughan to bring the ball back and rides a tackle from Fletcher. In the end, Whitmore just enough to get him down, and then another messy end of the set, this time from Swinton. So Hunslet will be grateful to have the ball back in hand.
He's had some big moments, hasn't he? Vaughan obviously has scored a try, and then a great break there, a bit like Rhys Williams. They've been disciplined and had some big moments.
Well, Hunslet looking to apply something straight away from the scrum. Render almost getting himself away. Hunslet fans around us want a penalty for offside. But Hunslet making good progress up the middle. Whitmore, who's just made a big defensive intervention, now making some metres from dummy half into Swinton territory we go. It's a slow play, the ball, so here's Flanagan, brings it up to the line. Knowles out to Beryl, and Well, he's a lucky boy there for Herald, because that was a bit of a nothing pass. Goddard wasn't where he thought he was, but Williams knocked it on in the act of intercepting, and they get the ball back, and huge contact comes in on Hallis. Wood and Benyon in there, the two enforcers who rolled off the bench early on in this second half. There's some real physical carries up the middle, haven't there? Both teams pretty evenly matched in the forwards, you would say, on the evidence of the 70 minutes we've seen so far. As Beharrell brings us up to the right, Flanagan now looks out to Render. Render's stopped and then forced the wrong way round, so it is a slower play, the ball. Beharrell with a little bit of misdirection gets the offload away, so Hunslet keeping it alive. Mitch Cox making the tackle, just looking to slow things down. Beharrell up to the line. Has Flanagan on his shoulder, but unable to release the fullback, so this is the last big opportunity for Hunslet to put an attacking kick in. It's a low pass, so they come out to Fletcher, they're keeping the ball alive. Knowles now does put the ball up into the air. Jaden Hatton brings it in safely, and again, it's just that end of set, isn't it? It's just lacking something from a Hunslet perspective, but I have to say, Swinton have dealt with the fifth tackle really well all afternoon.
Yeah, they have, but I don't think they've been challenged enough in that area. Like I said, Beharrell's just passing the ball on there to Knowles, who's an inferior kicker to himself, so...
So here's Purcell, brings it up to the 30-metre mark. That ball's come loose, and Hunslet have it back, so what an opportunity this is for Hunslet. They come to the short side. Berry looking to just race away on that left, but he's brought down. Numbers are on the right. Here's Beharrell to Fletcher. Fletcher will just put that under his jumper and carry up to the 10-metre mark. Hunslet might not get a better opportunity than this. Here's Knowles, he's got a little bit of space, and that's the way that he goes, and Cox just does enough to get across and cover the gap that he left. Whitmore at dummy half brings us right to Flanagan. Flanagan brings it to the line, stabs a kick through, but far too much on it. And that was early on in the set as well. A little bit of a strange decision, that.
Yeah, same thing we've been repeating now for the whole of the half. They're still here, they're still in field position. They'll get more chances. They only need a penalty, and then obviously it's a drawing game, so, but they've got to finish better.
So Swinton roll up to the 40-metre mark. You mentioned a penalty could get them back in the game. Golden point.
Come on, boys!
I think we're officially in the time of the game we're allowed to talk about that, Paul, because it's very much on the cards if Hunslet were to knock 2 points over at any point in the next 7 minutes.
They can't keep letting Swinton off the hook. They lost 3 times now in this half. They've let them off the hook in this really important period of the game. They'll just grind their way back up, Swinton. They will get their opportunities, and you tend to feel they get down here again with a full set, then they'll put the final nail in the coffin.
So Walker rolls up the field. Gibson brings us out to left-hand side. Hatton, he's got Williams away. Williams puts the kick in. Inside to Hatton, who brings the ball in. Can't quite force his way over the line. Hunslet have the ball back. And now they have to play. And that's exactly what they're looking to do. It's a broken game at this point. Swinton's defence just doing enough, but it's a quick enough play the ball for Hunslet to keep rolling upfield with Render. Now they're up to the 40, Hunslet. Swinton have done a pretty good job at times in this game of just squeezing this Hunslet attacking line at the right time, but it just feels like there's going to be a moment, doesn't it? One way or the other, there's going to be a big moment in the next 6 minutes of this game that is going to define a season, and Hunslet almost away on that left-hand side. Now they come out to the right, Beharrell, who's just injecting himself into this game more and more. Hunslet just moving the ball around the hands as Flanagan tries to get us the left-hand side, and it's knocked down, so another set for Hunslet. Swinton doing a good job at keeping them out, but they're clinging on here.
Yeah, well, this is the moment, isn't it? This is the moment there. Here's the try where Williams just finds that space, but he's took after the ball, actually, but...
he just loses his foot in, doesn't he? And then the ball, Hatton
It's a great transition from Hunslet, really challenged them. It's actually got them a good start. The field positions off the back have been brave there. They needed to be brave, and they was. Now they need to be clinical.
Back underway, massive set in this season. Whitmore with the first carry. Hunslet have their numbers stacked to the right-hand side, but Herald drops it back in. Almost through, but Swinton's defence, as it has done for much of this game, holding firm. Now they come to the left, but Herald looks to go himself, still going. 4 Swinton defenders in there, holding him up, and it's a slow play the ball. Hunslet still banging on the door. Hallis, who's had a real impact in this game, started off the bench, but has done some big minutes. Now they'll look to apply some width with Knowles out to Flanagan. They could have an overlap here if they can use it. Goddard, and again it comes down off of Swinton hands, so we're back to 0, but Flanagan's got some space in front of him, chops one way, then the other. Just couldn't quite get himself free. Goddard has a dig. Massive repeat set for Hunslet. Massive repeat set for Swinton to have to see out. This could be the season. We come out to the left-hand side. Herald looks for a big ball over the top to Render. Render avoids a tackle, looks to score in the corner. That could be a remarkable finish if he's got that down. The referee says he has. He pulled off a worldie last week. He's done it again. And this time, Jack Render might have fired his team into the championship.
Well, finally, they come up with a good finish, don't they? On that occasion, it's Burrell. I said to you, he needed the ball in his hands more. And he's thrown a looper, hasn't he? Cut 2 people out. And it's a fantastic try. He had so much to do there to just finish that try. And he's got in, got left arm carry. Just managed to squeeze in at the corner. For what could be the match-winning try.
Well, what a time to come up with this. It's Fletcher out the back to Herald, and then a really big ball over the top, and avoids a couple of tackles, does really well. What a finish that is. What a finish that is. The ball from Herald's good. He avoids the tackle of Purcell, and then that is superb.
Absolutely. The Swinton winger's done a real good job. He's outnumbered, and he's got stepped on his inside shoulders. Unfortunate for him. And then the covering Swinton defence just can't do enough to prevent him from squeezing into the corner. It's great footwork to beat his man, to beat his winger, and then again transferred the ball left arm, just squeeze in at the corner.
What a game.
Yeah.
What a game of rugby league.
Can they see it out? Can they see the game out? It's still to this point. It's a big kick from Matty Burrell.
Do you know what, Rolls? Let's have golden point. I don't want this to end. This is unbelievable fun here at Heywood Road. 2 teams, hammer and tong, fighting for their lives, fighting for a place in the championship. At some point, Paul, I'm going to have to ask you to think about your Betfred player of the match, but we'll maybe just leave it, because I think there could be still
Sue wins.
a twist in the tail.
It's a big kick.
Massive kick.
It's quiet as the Hunslet fans have been, the hushes.
Well, I hope they've all got tomorrow morning off work. Here is the kick. It's a really good strike, but it's just to the left-hand side of the post, so a couple of minutes for Hunslet to see this game out and win promotion to the Betfred Championship.
Well, this game's been back and forth, hasn't it? You've got to say both sides have given away a lot. Both sides have worked themselves back into a game. They've come back from the canvas. First Hunslet, then Swinton, and then Hunslet again.
Surely they'll go short with this kick-off. They do. And it's taken a bounce. Where's this coming back?
Oh, what's he going to do?
Well, big decision this. We wait to see which way the referee points. It's going to be Swinton ball. I mean, that was pinging around all over the place. Swinton have done enough to get possession back. This season is coming down to 1 set.
Here's the replay.
It is Goddard who gets up to it, and then Whitmore drops it as well, so I think he's probably got that one absolutely spot on.
It's a huge set. Huge set. I can tell you that you can cut the atmosphere with a knife. It's incredible. Nerves here to our right from the Hunslet fans, and the Swinton fans are just, well, they're praying, aren't they, at this point? But they've got some firepower, Swinton, on the edges there. You see Vaughan lined up. They've got a deep line out to the right. They've weighted the numbers on that right edge from this scrum. They're going to throw a shade. It's 4v3. This is a chance.
We started in March. It's a Sunday night in October. And this will decide the season. Vaughan with a strong carry. It's history or heartbreak. It's a year's work, boiled down to one set of rugby league. They come up to the line. Gibson tries to get away, but Hunslet's defence is really strong. Roby at play the ball. There's fans here who can't watch at Heywood Road as Eves tries to dodge a few tackles. Still tackles in hand. They come out to the left-hand side. Gibson will bring it up to the line and look for Hatton with a big ball. Can he get himself through? Finds Williams with the offload. He'll now look to cut back on the inside and take on Hallis, who does a really good job. This is the last. Is this the play that defines the season? Was that played at? No, says the referee. That's the end of set. It's not the end of the game. But it is a massive, massive step towards promotion for Hunslet.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Just watch the replay. He's right. It's a great call from the referee. He's not played at it. And it is an handover.
There's the hooter! There's the hooter! Hunslet have done it! Hunslet are promoted to the Betfred Championship. They were brilliant against Keighley in the playoff final. They've been heroic in the qualifying final. There's bodies all over the place to the right-hand side. What an effort from the club from South Leigh Stadium. Incredible scenes here at Heywood Road. Heartbreak to our left-hand side for the Swinton fans who will face at least the season in League One, but to our right, pure joy as Hunslet are back in the Betfred Championship.
Oh, what a journey these guys have been on, and these fans, everybody as a club. What a fantastic club. They've done it slow and steady, wins the race. They've done fantastic, haven't they, to get to this point and then come out off the canvas twice in this game. Well, you can see the emotion. They started with emotion. It was a little bit too much. And then this at the end there, well, the scenes are unbelievable. The fans are going wild. The players are on the dugout roofs. And, well, fair play to Hunslet. Like I said before, they've come off the canvas twice. They've been clinical when it mattered and got the winning tries. But, I mean, right, you've got to ask me your name. I'm not man of the match.
You've got to pick your Betfred player of the match. We've got a winner now. Now we need a player of the match.
Well, it's so hard. It's been a team event. But what I've liked the work of number 23, George Flanagan. I just think he's been a little bit of class. He's been a shining diamond amongst everybody else. But, wow, it's been a team effort. Behel's run the show. But for me, I think young Flanagan there, I think he's a star in the future. And I think today's just to give everybody a glimpse of what Super League might see in the near future.
Just a word on Dean Muir, the Hunslet coach. What a job he's done. What a job he's done turning this team into a championship side for next season.
Well, there's the story, isn't it? Obviously, Alan Kilshaw's coaching Swinton today, and he was at Hunslet last year, so Dean Muir coming in to Hunslet as a new coach, and you could clearly see from when they came out to warm up that they had a spirit about them, a togetherness. And yeah, you've got to pay credit to Dean, all the backroom staff, and well, you can see the celebrations now that this club are together in every sense of the word. So
you mentioned that spirit, the mental side of this game, when it swung one way and then the other, and you'd think the championship side would find the ascendancy and roll on through, but it is Hunslet who have bounced back again and again in this game, and they will be playing Championship Rugby League in 2025. And these supporters to our right-hand side are in for one hell of a Sunday night.
Well, you know, I'm really pleased for the board of directors at Hunslet, who for many years they've been consistent. They've worked to a budget. They've been slow and steady. They've not gone boom or bust at any point. They've just kept plugging away, and they're strong in the voice as well. They always have a strong opinion on the game. They've done it right, and here they are today. They're getting the reward, and it's a credit to the whole club. Obviously, the players, on that pitch have really had, it's a giant killing, really. And on the flip side, commiserations to Swinton, who, well, they've had such big moments, beating Toulouse Wales, standing in my memory for Swinton this year. And like I said, they played a big part in what was a unbelievable, well, it wasn't a final, but watch your class he has.
Well, it's a qualifying game, isn't it, to get them into the championship, but it's heartbreak from a Swinton perspective.
Yeah.
They started well, they did the right things at the beginning, and it just felt like they went away from plan and went away from what they'd have said they were wanting to do in this game, and let Hunslet in.
Well, they'll look back and they'll bemoan what they've gifted to Hunslet. However, what I'll say is, we got a glimpse of it last week against Keighley, that this team don't go away, do they? They're resilient, they'll wait, they'll learn.
Look at these pictures.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
We're stood just at the back of that under the stand, and I can tell you, there's probably 300 plus Hunslet fans who've made the trip.
Yeah.
They've not stopped singing all game. They're not going to stop singing all night.
Yeah, it's going to be a big night in South Leeds tonight, that's for sure. So a good journey home and an absolutely massive night. What a tremendous season, or ending to a season for Hunslet. Nobody was talking about them, were they? It was all about the other teams in League One, Oldham, Keighley, who's going to be there and thereabouts. But Hunslet have just come up on the rails.
We should mention Oldham, who will join them in the championship next season, all conquering, of course. They've been up for a few weeks now, and then it's been about who was going to join them, if anyone, through that playoff system. And Hunslet have done it the hard way. They've gone the distance. Keighley finishing second, looked like the favourites to get themselves into this game. Hunslet upset the apple cart last week. Well, the apples are all over the place now.
Yeah, absolutely. And nobody had put money on them other than the people to the right of me. It was such a tough ask after last week's emotional game, what they put into last week. The difference in, obviously, this is a championship hardened side, Swinton. At home, it was all against Hunslet, but sometimes sport throws some absolutely heroic and crazy things our way, and this goes under that today.
We'll get some reaction from the Hunslet camp shortly. But fantastic scenes, players and fans alike celebrating. Dean Muir in your picture there. There's Drew Ferreira, who picked up an injury in the first half, and that was a big loss for Hunslet because he's been a big part of what they do this season. But they weathered the storm, and they are going up in rolls. I'm going to head pitch side to get some reaction. I'll leave you to talk through the highlights, the story of the game, of how Hunslet have booked their place in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. You got the best bet there. I'd like to go and party with them boys. Looks like fun, but that's an early start from Swinton. That right to left shift, wide width of pass, Jack Stevens, and then Jack Stevens again, just with that deftly kick. Really accurate and disciplined kick. And it's Vaughan who tips down. He's a big presence to Cox, who's always Johnny on the spot. Before this happened, against the grain, against the run of play, Hunslet looked somewhat drowning before the intercept came. It was a great interception try. Went the 60-70 metres, just brought themselves back into the game. And then it was all Hunslet for a 20-30 minute period. It was a great offload, as we see here from Alice, who was strong all game, to Cameron Barry, who we said from the minute he came on, he was lively out of dummy half, he was quick, he was Johnny on the spot on that occasion. And then the man of the match, Flanagan. Everything good that Hunslet did, well, he had his fingerprints on it. Him and Burrell were fantastic throughout. Then off the canvas they came. It was Swinton. Put the big boppers back on, put the starting pack back on. It was Benyon who went for a gaping hole there, inside shoulder miss from Hunslet. And then, again, route one. It was a really strong carry and just squeezed over under the post to bring themselves back in the game before Rhys Williams started to wreak havoc on this right edge for Hunslet. Some strong carries, missed tackles from Hunslet. And then it was Roby out from dummy half. And again, strong carry from Cox, offload. Difficult for Hunslet, chaotic now. Stevens with an offload, out to Vaughan. He's a big presence on that right edge. He was good, he had some good moments. Vaughan, too strong, crashed in on the outside there. Swinton may have thought that was enough, but Hunslet, as we've seen before, is Burrell with a cut-out pass. Just found that left edge there for Hunslet. was a fantastic try just in that left-hand corner. There's a near miss here. This is the end of the game. Roby calling for a set of 6 restart, but no, it wasn't played at. Right decision from the referee, and absolute scenes from Hunslet, who again came off the canvas twice, and absolutely worthy winners in what was a monumental game. You see the scenes, they're still celebrating here. There's champagne going all over the place, the fans are going mental, and the players are having a party. I think we've got Lewis down there with player of the match, young George Flanagan, and so I'll pass over to Lewis.
George Flanagan, Betfred player of the match, but more importantly, Hunslet are promoted to the Betfred Championship for 2025. You've come here against the odds, caused the upset. What a performance.
Yeah, class. Unbelievable, I just can't believe it. We're a team that just dug in. In that first half, we struggled to get a bit of momentum in that first 20 minutes, but we're just stuck in it. We're a group of hard-working people, and since I've been here, everybody just got on the back of it, and we're all just... It's a great vibe, great buzz since we lost in the first week of finals, and everyone doubted us to go to Keith last week and lose, and to come here and lose again, so we've proved everyone wrong. Can't believe it.
Halfway through that first half, 10-0 down, away from home against a championship side. What was the talk? What was the mentality about just staying in the fight?
Yeah, that's it, just staying in the grind. I mean, we knew we'd get them, we knew we were skillful enough, and we knew we'd back his attack to score points, but we just needed to dig in. Yeah, we just knew, just keep digging in, keep turning up for each other, and the rewards come on the back of it.
And well, the unbelievable scenes and pictures here. Your supporters singing all night. How good was that, playing in that atmosphere?
Oh, unbelievable. The fans, before the game, we had surprise of all his family presenting us shirts before we set off on the bus, and then when we set off on the bus, all the fans were stood outside, so I think that was just a bit of extra motivation, but they've turned out in the numbers tonight and they've been unbelievable all the way through.
Well, enjoy tonight, mate. You're the Betfred player of the match. You're promoted with Hunslet, an unbelievable performance this season. We'll bring Matty Beherrell in properly now. Matty, how special was tonight?
Unbelievable, honestly. Again, no one gave us a chance, I don't think, did they? Backs against the wall, but that's when we play our best. It could have gone either way, but the grit and determination that we've got in our team, honestly, I just felt last 5 minutes we've got a chance and it's going to be one, and we're going to take it. I had all the belief in the world, honestly, but what an amazing feeling that is.
You're a team that just doesn't go away. Talk us through what's behind that.
Just the togetherness. Honestly, there's no egos in this team whatsoever. We're best mates, all of us. We're just really together group, and I think that's you just can't beat that.
It might not have sunk in yet, but obviously pre-season starts in November. You set out on a journey. That journey's taken you back to the championship. How good is that feeling that all that hard work's paid off?
Yeah, all them sacrifices, all the late nights, training, working, away from your family. It's hard, but look, days like today, they don't come around often, so we're going to enjoy it when it comes around. But like you say, when we all them cold nights in January, training pre-season, to finish it like that is just absolutely special.
I mentioned it to George, the backing from the away fans. Did that give you an extra 10% in the batteries?
Yeah, it did. They're unbelievable. Like, obviously there's not a lot of them, but they've travelled everywhere. They're so vocal. They was there, they waved the bus off today, and it means everything to them, and it means everything to us to go out there and put in a performance that they'd be proud of, but not only them, ourselves, and I think we did that and more today.
Well, congratulations. Enjoy your night. We'll bring in your head coach, Dean Muir. Dean, sum that up.
It's difficult to sum up. Swinton took us right down to 80 minutes pretty much, didn't they? We knew if we could take them to a dark place and be really disciplined and not give away any penalties, we'd eventually get some joy, and we've got speed to burn. And that showed today. Mackenzie's Turner struck away, and then Jack Render's magic, innit? Enough said on that one. Well,
we saw him pull out a remarkable finish last week. That one will run it close, and it couldn't have been a more important time to do it.
No, 2 minutes to go. Dived over in the corner. I thought we could have dealt with the kick-off a little bit better, but then our effort, our desire, our willingness to work for each other in them last 2 minutes where we're on our try line defending proved to be the difference.
Hey, obviously you work on things on the training park, you look at structures, you look at tactics, but the togetherness and the ability to bounce back from moments in the game where it looked like maybe you were being turned around, what do you put that down to?
that's just down to them personally and their heart and their willingness to work for the club, and it's a great environment to be in. We've been written off right the way through the playoffs, and we've done it tough away at Rochdale, away at Keighley, away at Swinton, and to get promoted today is justice for the boys, the effort they've put in, and just accountability amongst themselves. We've got some really good leaders, and I just thought they stepped up tonight and they were outstanding.
You've got to go away now and prepare for life in the Betfred Championship. How big is it for the club that you're back into the second tier?
It's massive for them. Obviously, historically, they're one of the big clubs, aren't they? They've won everything. To get them back there, it's our job now to make sure we become a sustainable championship club, and that's no mean task. So that starts tomorrow, but we'll enjoy tonight first, and then we'll focus on next year after that.
Well, go and enjoy it with your supporters. We'll bring in James Knowles now. I've just put the question to your coach and the players we've spoken to beforehand. How on earth do you sum up what's just happened?
I don't think you can really. I think it's just a team who's got that work ethic, and you can see there, first 20 minutes, last 20 minutes, especially in defence, we just keep turning up, and it's a really grafters team that what just gets us over the line.
There were moments in that game where Swinton were on top, then it swung and you were on top. What was it like to play in a game that was so topsy-turvy?
It's hard. You've just got to soak it up. We know Swinton were going to come the physical side. We know they're going to play faster. Championship probably is a bit faster. But we spoke about just soaking it up, just keep turning up in D, and once we got our chances, we know we can score points, and I think we did. Every time we got into good ball, I think we threatened or nearly scored. So, like I said before, it's just about soaking up that D and just keep turning up for each other.
Just a word on your teammates. There seems to be such a spirit of togetherness that saw you through last week and then again tonight.
Oh yeah, I mean the group of lads are fantastic. It's a young team. I mean, I'm looking at I'm being oldest. Your next is Jimmy Watson, who's only 31, and then your next oldest is something like 26. I mean, average age at team, and to what they've achieved, it's fantastic. And they've all got a great attitude. They turn up to training every week. They put what they can in. I'm just happy for them, happy for the club, happy for fans. They've gone. We were all written off. No one thought we were going to beat Rochdale. No one thought we were going to beat Keighley, and especially today, we thought we were just going to come and get beat up. But we proved everyone wrong.
Got tomorrow off work?
No, I'll be in at work tomorrow.
Well, congratulations, mate. Enjoy it. Remarkable achievement. Go and celebrate your teammates and the fans over there, and we'll see you in the Betfred Championship next year.
Will do. Cheers, mate.
Awesome. Right. I'll bring Paul Rowley back in with me to bring Rolls back in to just recap on what we've just seen, and a remarkable 80 minutes of rugby league.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think I was listening to Michael speak there, just about soaking up what Swinton was going to throw at them, and they knew what was coming. Well, I think he got it spot on, to be fair, but what ones that have in people like Michael is some players who've been around and navigated Championship and League One before. They know what it's all about, and the good rugby players, none more so than him, Matty Burrell, and then they've got a little bit of a diamond there, haven't they, in Flanagan. So they're always going to have a say on the game, and it's a matter of the opportunities coming their way. And Swinton will probably rue the fact that they presented them opportunities when they had some dominance and a lot of control over the game. Certainly in them early periods, the first 20 to 30 minutes. But it came, didn't it? We spoke about it eventually coming for Hunslet, and it came in the form of an intercept, a 60-70 metre intercept, changed the tide, give the confidence back, brought the fans back into the game, who were fantastic, I've got to say. Hunslet is cheered on, but they were very much a together club, from fans to players to staff to boardroom. They were in it together, you could see that, and it was backs against the walls. It was a real journey that they'd been on, nothing to lose. And they just looked dangerous in the way that they walked out, to be honest. They looked like a team that were here and were going to throw everything other than the kitchen sink, and they did just that.
Just a word on Swinton, who played their part in an unbelievable game of rugby league. How on earth do you pick yourselves up from a night like this?
Well, they've played a part in an unbelievable championship, to be fair, and like I said before, they go to Toulouse and win. They beat Featherstone. They've come with some massive wins, and the manner of the victories has been good as well. They've entertained. They've played good rugby. They've been tough, resilient themselves, and the bottom of Championship's been really tough. So they can probably consider themselves unlucky to be in the position that they were, having to play a knockout game to maintain the championship status. So it's a sickener really for them having to drop down in League One, but they've been there before, they've done it, and like we said about Hunslet, Swinton are a resilient club. They've got a good structure, a good back room. They do a lot of good work away from the field as well, so they will bounce back. But in the immediate, it'll take a little bit of getting over for them. But like I said before, they're a great club, a great history, proud, and a good infrastructure, so they'll come back.
Just lastly, obviously a head coach yourself, Dean Mew's got to go away now and work out how he makes Hunslet as competitive as they can be in the Championship for next season, but just a word on what he's done with this team.
Remarkable, yeah, after taking over from Alan, who was obviously there last year. Again, he's definitely galvanised a spirit and a culture within the club from top to bottom. They're very connected, as I said before, and to win competitions you need to be connected, and that's visible. They also clearly had a game plan and some players in there who are good footballers, and I think when you're recruiting for League One and recruiting for Championship, you need players who are battle hard and can navigate them competitions, and he's done that. He's put together a good team, and they've come out on top, and so a lot of credit to him, his staff, and like I said before, the whole club.
Well, Rolls, a pleasure as ever to have your company this evening in a season that has kept on producing the goods all year. That might just be as good as it gets. Heartbreak for Swinton, but as we leave Heywood Road tonight, the party will go long into the night in South Leeds, because Hunslet have been promoted to the Betfred Championship. That is a remarkable finish.
Burke goes for the corner, and Leah Burke's in. And it's Tamsin Renew. The pass from Holly Dodd.
And this could be the first goal of the game, because London are going to get them and touch down. He's gone for the same ball, and it's going to work.
Beautiful.
They might score the winner. And North Wales have another.
Brings it up to the line, drops it off to Hazard, who reaches through.